Albion Martin and Ian Danter with me here at Stamford Bridge. And actually, interesting hearing from the Brighton head coach, Fabian Hürzeler there. He was saying that, they've got to come to grounds and not just defend. I haven't seen them do that all season. They've been very much on the front foot and a real delight to watch from a neutral's point of view, Alvin.
Yeah, they have. And look, I think even when they were playing Forest, they were still squeezing high, trying to look for another goal. And maybe they've got to just balance that a little bit. They hold the reins a little bit tighter at certain times, because I think when you're going to win a game, sometimes you have got to see it out. Even Arsenal. Arsenal, if they can do it, what they did at Man City, then there's a time when you just got to sit back, you've got to soak up pressure, then you have to do it. You've got to know what it takes to win a game, as I've said before. But I think the philosophy is obviously straightforward. He's taken on, there's been 3 managers at this club, all played a certain way. They played a certain way to get themselves into the Premier League. They got there, and now they want to stay there. What's the best way to stay there? Is to grow as a club, to evolve as a club, and that's exactly what they've done, and that's why I'm looking forward to today. I think we've got a great game in front of us, and I think we'll see a lot of good technical players. And I'm just talking about the team in blue. They've both got a bit of blue. I don't know what colour they're wearing
blue
today.
And yellow for Brighton.
Both sets of teams will entertain us today, Faye.
Yeah, they certainly will. The Liquidator always entertains, doesn't it, when you hear it at Stamford Bridge? You know you're in West London when you hear this. I'm just intrigued from Ian Danter as to where Ferdi Kadagoglu is going to play this afternoon, because he's played the majority of his football at left back for Fenerbahce last season, but he's quite versatile. How's he going to be used?
I think he's used as a right back. He has played in that position on occasion, and I think he comes in on the right of the back four. Estepinian's a left back. I wouldn't see that changing. The one that makes it interesting is Hinshelwood, because Hinshelwood has played a lot of right back, but then him and Baleba formed a relatively decent partnership at defensive midfield against Forest. So I don't think Hürzeler's going to want to upset the balance of the side too much. So he keeps Duncan Estepinian together on the left-hand side of the defence. He's got to bring Webster in because Veltman's out and Van Hecke's out. So Kadagoglu right, Estepinian left, Webster and Duncan in the middle, and Hinshelwood in front of the back four. Minimises the disruption as best he can, losing 3 players today.
Interesting thinking about this particular fixture as a bit of a rivalry, isn't it? But Chelsea have pinched quite a few of Chelsea's players and staff over the last couple of years, so a little bit of needle from that point of view, but Brighton just refresh every single time, don't they, as a fantastically run club managed to do. Players are on their way out to a raucous reception here at Stamford Bridge, and plenty of fire over on the side as well. Hopefully we don't see too many fireworks on the pitch, but plenty of goals is what we are expecting. Sit back and enjoy this one. It should be a cracker between Chelsea and Brighton. I'll leave you in the safe hands of former England defender Alvin Martin and your match commentator here on Talksport 2, Ian Danter.
Thank you, Faye, and a very good afternoon to you wherever and however you're listening to Talksport 2. Coming to you live from Stamford Bridge in West London. 4 days ago, I was sat in this very same spot to see Chelsea ease past Barrow in the Carabao Cup, and in doing so, making it 3 wins in a row without conceding. Maybe the signs are that Enzo Maresca can indeed get a consistent tune out of this hastily and expensively assembled cast of characters. And with the media spotlight not quite as firmly fixed on events here off the pitch, given the solid start, maybe the new Blues boss will be able to continue in this vein without too much negative scrutiny. But for all that, Chelsea are not unbeaten in the Premier League. Brighton are, though. Also under new management in Fabian Hürzeler, the Seagulls do sit 1 point behind Chelsea in the fledgling table, but have yet to lose in any competition so far this season. That said, 3 of their last 4 games have ended in stalemates, like the controversial 2-2 with Forest last Sunday that saw Hürzeler sent off during a touchline melee, but he has avoided a touchline ban here today and paid a fine instead. Chelsea changed the entire 11 for the 5-0 win over Barrow in midweek, and they changed them all back again, other than Marlo Gusto, who's back fit again and played against Barrow. He stays in. Tosin Adarabioyo drops to the bench. Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Fofana, Colwill and Cucurella in the back four, Caicedo and Enzo as the holding midfielders, Madueke, Palmer and Sancho in behind Jackson in attack. And there's, of course, a number of former Brighton personnel in amongst that 11 that we'll talk about as we go during the course of the game. Brighton had doubts over a few players, and João Pedro is still not available to start, but also Fabian Hürzeler denied Joel Veltman, Jan-Paul Van Hecke and Simon Adingra today for varying reasons. Their places go to Ferdi Kadioglu, Adam Webster and Mats Wiefer coming into the side. Still a 4-2-3-1 it would appear, with Bart Verbruggen in goal. Ferdi Kadioglu, Adam Webster, Lewis Duncan, Pervis Estepinian in the back four. Jack Hinshelwood and Carlos Baleba holding the midfield. And then Mats Wiefer, Jorginho Rutter and Kauro Mitoma in behind Danny Welbeck up front. Welbeck in such excellent form at the moment. Scored that brilliant free kick against Nottingham Forest last weekend. And he's just in that sort of form. 3 in 5 Premier League games so far this season. But a lot of eyes this afternoon, Alvin, I imagine, on Robert Sanchez, Mark Cucurella, Moises Caicedo and Levi Colwill, who had a loan spell at Brighton. He wasn't a permanent signing there, but they're just, as Faye mentioned just before she handed to us, that little bit of needle between these two clubs because of all that business that was done between the two.
Yeah, I think in some ways as well, I think Chelsea have got to get that right. Instead of actually buying replacements and putting them in their team from Brighton, they've got to get to them before they get to Brighton. And save themselves a lot of money, Dan. That's the way.
Cut out the middleman. Yeah. And the middleman is Brighton. Peter Banks is our referee this afternoon. Bright sunshine in West London. A lot of the pitch in shade, and as we look from our lofty position high up in the east stand here at Stamford Bridge, to our left the shed end with Brighton fans who have followed their team's example. A lot of them wearing the away strip that Brighton are wearing today, the yellow with the dark blue stripes on the shirts, yellow shorts and socks, and they're kicking towards the Matthew Harding to our right hand side. That end of the ground is where Brighton are heading in the first period. Chelsea in the blue shirts and shorts and white socks as their first choice colours here at the Bridge. And Jadon Sancho has robbed the ball immediately and tried to flick the ball through to Cole Palmer on the right hand side, but it was intercepted by Lewis Dunk. Kauro Mitoma shows lovely quick feet to get away from Gusto down the Brighton left, hits a cross into the box, but it deflects off Gusto and just trickles through to Sanchez. And you wouldn't believe this, I said jokingly before the game, right, have Brentford got a kick-off coach? They must have, because they've taken the lead already in their Premier League game this afternoon against West Ham United. This time 40 seconds the goal went in, and the goal was scored by Brian Mbeumo, who scored after 22 seconds at Tottenham last weekend. Kick-off coach Alvin Martin? It's got to be, isn't it?
A little bit of magic there. Certainly
it can't be a coincidence. Like 3 Premier League games in a row, and they score within a minute. That's nuts.
Well, that's what he talks, about getting out there and making sure you start quickly. Well, they've certainly done that. But look, this game here started off quickly, Dan. Brighton versus Chelsea is really sharp. One thing that we have seen in the first 3 or 4 minutes here is that the pitch is really wet. They've overwatered it prior to the game, and the players are after really giving it a good whack to be able to get it to the target. It's far too much rain or far too much water on top here. I think a few of the players, I wouldn't be happy about it for sure.
Malo Gusto is already changing his footwear just down beneath the Salvin, right in front of the Chelsea technical area. He clearly feels that the pitch can't take the stud he had, or the blade.
I mean, it will dry out, Dan, but it should not be that wet at the start of the game.
All these Premier League pitches have excellent drainage, but can only do so much. Long kick downfield from Sanchez goes straight out of play. The Brighton fans love that. Away to our left, that their former keeper couldn't find a teammate, and the ball's out of play, and it will be Ferdi Kadioglu to take the throw for Brighton. One of the 3 changes made today. Work back, looking for Nicholas Janssen to close down the space against Webster, but it's gone behind for a goal kick. Kadioglu cost £25 million from Fenerbahce in August, made a Premier League appearance from the bench against Ipswich, so he's making a first start of the season today. It's Adam Webster's first Premier League start of the season as well at centre half, and Brighton play the ball out the back line for Bruggen, hence sends it into midfield. It was very, very neatly done, and that's Wiefer knocks it back to the back line. Rutter making a run through the middle. It actually looks like Wiefer is alongside Baleba, and Hinshelwood's playing a little bit further forward in this Brighton lineup. I mentioned before kick-off he was alongside Baleba for the Nottingham Forest game, but Wiefer's the holding midfielder, Alvin, along with Baleba in this Brighton lineup.
Yeah, that's right. Welbeck obviously is going to play down the middle, but we've already seen that little movement from Mitoma. His first touch, a lot of people have have paid attention to it. It doesn't matter if he comes on the half volley, on the volley. His first touch gets it out of his feet, and he's at you straight away. And certainly in that first little challenge with Gusto, we have a chance.
Chelsea coming forward. It's at the edge of the area. Sancho gets the shot away, blocked by Webster. 0-0, 4 minutes gone. And Chelsea rob possession high up in the Brighton half. And now Brighton are coming forward. It's Mitoma ahead of the centre circle. Cucurella wins the ball off him. Howls for a free kick from the Brighton fans to our left. But Peter Banks saw nothing wrong with that. But suddenly Brighton were dispossessed. The ball broke for Sancho inside the box, but Webster, right place, right time to block. 0-0.
Well, they went from depending on the edge of their own penalty area there, and once they did regain possession, they went straight at the throat of Chelsea. And it's where Chelsea are going to have to be really, really careful, because this Brighton side, you know, you might be able to get at them, but if you don't actually score, which they didn't get the ball, you know, into a position where they could have got the shot away, they will come straight at you, Brighton. And I think it was a great challenge really by Cucurella. I thought maybe it might have been a foul initially, but no, there was no complaint, was there, from Mitoma? He got a really good touch on the ball.
0-0 here. Kariolu for Brighton. Morecambe lead Notts County by a goal to nil in League 2. Lee Angol. Morecambe still haven't won this season in the league, but they are in front against much fancied Notts County. Brighton in possession on the halfway line with Pervis Estupiñán. Plays it back to square to Dunk. Square ball along to Webster along the halfway line. Slides it into Welbeck. Just flicks it out to the right wing. Karioglu has pushed forward. Cucurella is with him, trying to close down the space. Again, he does well, Cucurella, and he actually wins Chelsea a throw in that left-back position. 0-0.
Well, he's the best left back in the Premier League. He might be the best left back in Europe. He's certainly got everything. You know, he's got loads of energy. One-on-one, he wants to defend. When he's got the ball, he takes responsibility, and he's got a lovely left foot, and he can deliver. So yeah, no doubt about it. You know, I think there's a lot of Premier League sides who would love to have him at left back.
0-0 here. Chelsea giving chase on the right-hand side, but Dunk will tidy up back to Bartford Bruggen. In League 1, Birmingham City 0, Peterborough 1. Ricky J. Jones. Just waiting for the text from Adrian Durham. It can't be far behind. Ball goes back to Bartford Bruggen, who's a very competent keeper in terms of passing out from the back and using his feet. And he passes out to Vifa. Now Karioglu in the centre circle. Run from Welbeck through the middle and Estupiñán, but it's gone out left to Kaoru Mitoma, running at Gusto, left-hand corner of the area. Estupiñán on the underlap, pulled the ball back quite intelligently from the back line. Caicedo couldn't get it fully clear. Heads go up, and it's in from Brighton. Jorginho Rutter has headed the Seagulls ahead. A brave header on the penalty spot as Sanchez came out to block. Sanchez now remonstrating with the referee. Rutter stayed down. He went up with Cucurella for a header, beat the man to the ball. He stayed down, but he's put Brighton 1 up. Chelsea 0, Brighton 1.
I don't know what he's doing coming with that. Sanchez, once he makes a decision to come for it and try and punch it, if he doesn't get it, the goal is unguarded. And any header is going to go in, and that's exactly what happened. So I don't know what he's complaining about. They dallied on the ball. It was a move that started on the left-hand side for Brighton. Mitoma again, who's had a lot of the ball in the early stages, has played the ball down the flank. It's been crossed in. They had a chance to clear it, Dance, and they didn't. I don't know which player it was.
Caicedo, it was.
Yeah, but he should have cleared it. He didn't. He dallied on it. The ball stayed alive, and once it went up in the air, Sanchez has got to stay on his line. He decides to come, doesn't get near the punch, and I can't see anything wrong with the goal.
Well, they're both still down getting treatment. Both the goal scorer, Jorginho Rutter, who's just scored his first goal for his new club, and Mark Cucurella, who'd started the game so well, but that was who Rutter beat to the bounce of the ball to get that header into the unguarded net, as Alvin's saying. Meantime, Cheltenham 0, Fleetwood 1 in League 2. Matty Virtue for Cheltenham. And Cucurella is now back on his feet, and at least Jorginho Rutter is now sitting up. But after his £40 million move from Leeds United, Jorginho Rutter breaks his and he was brave there. Regardless of the Sanchez error coming for a ball he shouldn't have, that's brave from Jorginho Rutter.
Yeah, you've got to keep your eye on the ball and not worry about anything else. But look, we said before the game we were expecting an attacking game. Well, we weren't disappointed, were we? I mean, the game has gone end to end in the early stages so quickly. It's been a fantastically quick game.
Rutter back on his feet. I'm sure they'll be doing all the necessary concussion protocols to make sure that he's going to be okay to continue, because we have to consider that now, Alvin.
Yep.
These days.
I wonder if he knows he scored.
I do hope so. Well, the Brighton fans know he scored. The noise they're making away to the left-hand side, that's where all the noise is coming from inside Stamford Bridge at the moment. It was a thriller here last season where Chelsea won by 3-2. Enzo scored his first Chelsea goal. Colwill scored against his old club. And Rutter looks to be all right. He's jogging back to the halfway line, just having a chat with his manager. Gives him a quick pat on the back, say, well done, son. And we're back underway on Talksport 2. With 9 minutes gone now. Chelsea 0, Brighton 1. Madueke making a great run down the right-hand side. Plays the ball into the area. Jackson tries to lay it back to Enzo at the edge of the box, but Brighton get it clear. And it's Baleba with a very skillful bit of football to lob the ball over a player's head to get it half clear. Mitoma cushions a header down for Estepinian, who goes down under pressure from Caicedo, his old teammate. Free kick to Brighton, and both Cucurella and Rutter are now allowed back onto the field. 1-0 to the Seagulls.
I love it. I love the approach from both teams. Absolutely fantastic. You're talking about high-risk football here in both penalty areas more than anything. I'm talking about defenders passing out from the back, taking chances, because that's what they've been taught to do by both coaches.
Enzo wins the ball back for Chelsea in the centre circle. 10 minutes gone on Talksport 2, and we've barely drawn breath. Chelsea 0, Brighton 1. It's sent back from Wesley Fofana to Robert Sanchez. Fires it again, looking for Madueke down the right-hand side. Couldn't bring it down. It just drifted out of play. And again, the Brighton fans loving the fact that their former keeper can't find his intended target. I think that's a theme we'll get all the way through the afternoon from away to our left-hand side. Bromley 0, MK Dons 1. Scott Lindsay now in charge of the Dons, and they lead through Joe Tomlinson at Bromley. Those are all the goals we have for you so far. Earlier today, you heard it live on Talksport. Newcastle and Manchester City shared a 1-1 draw here live on Talksport 2. Brilliant game at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday beating West Brom by 3-2. Wins for Blackburn, Norwich, Bolton, Rochdale, Huddersfield and Harrogate and Walsall this afternoon. Now here's Jadon Sancho down the left-hand side of the box for Chelsea. Fired it across the face of goal, but too close to Bart Verbruggen, who made a comfortable claim low down. 1-0 Brighton.
Well, it's certainly a good one. There was no mistake in what he was going to do. They drove, didn't he, at the full-back and got the other side of him. But, that's got to be a perfect ball. He's just too close to the goalkeeper from Chelsea's point of view.
Verbruggen again on his own 6-yard line, gently lofts the ball up towards halfway. Vifa sends it in field. Palace lead at Everton. Mark Gahey with the goal. Everton 0, Palace 1, and Motherwell 0, St Mirren 1 of the Scottish Premiership. Killian Phillips for the Buddies. You're up to date on Talksport 2 here this Saturday afternoon with Chelsea giving the ball away again on the halfway line, but Palmer, who's barely kicked the ball so far for Chelsea, has bypassed him in these opening 10 minutes, 11 minutes. Ball's back with Fofana.
Do when we were watching the screen, prior to the kickoff, and it was going around the crowd, and so many Palmer scarves. He's so popular here, isn't he? He is the player that Stamford Bridge, the crowd, they just want to see on the ball. And like you said, in the early stages, we haven't really seen that.
Talk about an immediate impact from a young player. Out on the right-hand side, it's kept in play by Caicedo, who's given the ball away. Left-hand side, Estepinian for Brighton. Fires an early cross into the box. Rutter's there, and he forces Cucurella to head the ball behind for Brighton's first corner of the game, away to our right. 12 gone. Brighton 1-0 up.
Well, a great game of football. Absolutely fantastic. We're talking about they're doing a lot of things well here, Chelsea, but whenever they lose possession of the ball, Brighton are playing with a little bit more decisive football, more accurate delivery. They've got their wide players, and especially Mitoma on that left-hand side, on the ball a lot. We've seen Sancho on this left-hand side. Mitoma on the other side with Brighton is looking the more dangerous.
It's you, Alvin Martin, that's what it is. Being here, that's why we got a good game.
It's in my contract.
Yeah, it is. You only do the belters, like Arsenal Bournemouth that you and I did together a year or so back.
Absolutely.
Corner to Brighton. Peter Banks just sorting out a bit of pushing and shoving he didn't like inside the area. Will be delivered by Estepinian, left-footed in-swinger into the near post, comfortably headed clear by Jackson, but it will come out to the midway point of the Chelsea half, and Kadioglu finds Estepinian still on the right-hand side, not on his natural position. Kadioglu measures a crossing diagonally into the edge of the area, drifts beyond Dunk. Mitoma is offside, flag goes up, and it's a free kick to Chelsea. You're listening to Chelsea 0, Brighton 1 on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget, you can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before, available with no contract on now, like Wolves against Liverpool. Live today. Search Now Sports for all the details. Yeovil 0, Aldershot 1 in the National League, and Carlisle, who've had a rotten start to life back in League 2, they lead Grimsby by a goal to nil. Sam Lavelle and Gateshead 1-0 up at Southend. They've had a good start in the National League, and they lead at Roots Hall through Jacob Butterfield. Ball thumped downfield by Sanchez for Chelsea, straight onto the instep of Kadioglu. Baleba in the centre circle is fouled by Caicedo, back on the halfway line. Free kick to the Seagulls. Chelsea won all 3 games against Brighton last season. The 3-2 was here with 10 men. They won 2-1 at the Amex, and they won by a goal to nil here in the EFL Cup on their way to the final, Chelsea, when they were beaten by Liverpool.
Brighton look, dance like a team full of confidence. You know, they're all prepared to get the ball, not just when they've got acres of space, but even when they're under pressure, they're confident in retaining possession. It's a really fluent team.
They pop the ball around very, very quickly. Here's Baleba just trying to jink in between 2 challenges. Good run down the right-hand side of the area by Welbeck. Plays it across. Sanchez gets a paw on it, and the Chelsea defenders get it clear. Just had to instinctively fling his right glove at it, Robert Sanchez, as Welbeck got away down the right-hand side. The pace there of that Brighton counter-attack was really, really eye-catching.
Well, certainly he was a fault for the goal, Sanchez, but I think there he makes a really good stop with his right hand. It had to be a really firm hand, it was, but Welbeck here released down this right after 3 or 4 really quick passes, and they cut through him like a knife through butter. That was a good ball in by Welbeck, and Sanchez has really saved it from going 2-0.
Brighton 1-0 up. Quarter of an hour gone on Talksport 2. They've got a throw. Kadioglu will take it. Baleba wants it thrown to him short, but he's gone into the area for Welbeck. But Cucurella just gets himself between man and ball and puts it out for another throw on this near side for Brighton, who are attacking the Matthew Harding in this first half. It's about 10 yards from the corner flag. Welbeck somehow manages to collect the throw, but couldn't keep it in play on the dead ball line. Home side get themselves a goal kick. And Welbeck flicked the ball away rather than kicked the ball away. It's a bit of a hot topic at the moment, Albion Martin, whether players should be booked for any of that sort of horseplay.
Well, this is certainly a test for Chelsea, Dan. You know, they've been playing well, but the home form is what really is going to make or break their season. And this was an opportunity to take 3 points, and it's still there, but they're up against a team that is going to make it very difficult.
High press from
1-0 up
Brighton
as well. You know, they're playing with a lot of confidence, and the crux of this dance is not losing faith in what they're doing, but not taking unnecessary chances. Chelsea, a second goal would really give them a mountain to climb, so they've got to walk that tightrope now. But if they do get the next goal in the game, you'd fancy them to go on and win it. But so this Brighton side, you've got to look at them and think, you know, is there a team that's playing with as much confidence at the back? Duncan's on the ball at the moment, and they're not under pressure. They're playing with so much composure and getting the ball to their creative players with ease, really.
That's Alvin Martin. You can hear alongside me Ian Danter, the former West Ham and England defender. Alvin with us once again on Talksport 2. 17 minutes gone. Brighton 1 up and in possession with Kadioglu, who sends the ball back to his keeper. Well, Fabian Hürzeler did win Manager of the Month for August. He must think this Premier League managerial lot's a doddle.
Well, he's certainly a player a manager that gives his players the freedom to go and play. He said that this week. You know, he wants them to know what their jobs are in terms of what he wants from the team, but he encourages them to get on the ball and to do what they see. You know, you can't tell really good players, you know, what to do when they've got the ball sometimes. It's about their decision making. But I think it's got to be harnessed with a team thought and background to it.
Fofana and Colwill combining. Colwill just receives the ball from Sanchez, being closed down by Welbeck, manages to fire the ball up to Enzo, the captain. He's trying to throw it through for Palmer. Brilliant first touch, Palmer into the area, over the keeper, off the post, and Brighton will clear their lines. Cole Palmer did everything right. Sensational run through the middle of the pitch, an incredibly good first touch, set himself, dinked it over Verbruggen, but the base of the post had other ideas.
What a game we're seeing here. I mean, that is exquisite. So much of that was fantastic to watch. The ball, like, it was just so much precision on it. He takes it when it's behind him, gets into a position where he's now through on goal, uses his pace. He seemed to do all the hard stuff, but the easy bit, you would have thought for him, was just to dink it over the keeper. He dinked it over the keeper, but hit the bar. I thought he was going to hit the inside of the post. It looked like the perfect goal. So close.
Brighton stay 1-0 up, and again Palmer making a run through the middle, found by Enzo. Will he make it work this time? Slams it home, and then the offside flag goes up to deny Cole Palmer. He did look offside this time, I will say, and I'm sure VAR will take a look to make sure. But it stays 1-0 at the moment to Brighton. Elsewhere, goals going in. Oh, God. Birmingham City 0, Peterborough 2. Emmanuel Fernandez makes it 2-0. Leeds lead Coventry in the Championship by a goal to Wilfred Gnonto. Bristol Rovers 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Scott Sinclair. Cardiff without a manager lead at Hull through Callum Robinson. Steve Bruce's revival of Blackpool continues. They lead Burton Albion by a goal to 0. Gillingham lead Barrow in the game between first and second in League 2, Jayden Clark. And Arsenal have just taken the lead against Leicester. Gabriel Martinelli puts the Gunners 1 up. That offside flag confirmed. Yeah, Cole Palmer
just went a bit early, didn't he? But the finish was brilliant.
Here's Matoma at the other end for Brighton, tries a shot deflected, and it actually loops comfortably through to Sanchez, who bowls it out early to Cucurella. Now on this left-hand side, Jadon Sancho, still inside his own half. Oh, he tricks himself with his own feet, and it goes out of play. Kadioglu was putting him under pressure, and he just not quite trod on the ball, but certainly lost where it was, Alvin. Suddenly it's a Brighton throw.
Yeah, he's had a good start to the game, hasn't he, on this...
given away by Webster. Now it's Jackson through one-on-one with the keeper. Up to Verbruggen, squares it back to Palmer. That is 1-1. Third time lucky for Cole Palmer. First one-on-one, saw him hit the post. Second, saw it ruled out for offside. But then the ball was rolled back to him so unselfishly by Nicholas Jackson. And Palmer does the ice-cold celebration, knowing that he's brought Chelsea level with 20 minutes gone. Great game. Chelsea 1, Brighton 1.
Well, it's an absolute nightmare for Webster. You know, the centre half of Brighton. It's a gift to Jackson. And where Jackson does absolutely brilliant, he isn't greedy. He realises he can't get the shot away. He's got people closing him down. He plays the ball correctly to his teammate Palmer. And this time, no mistake, he places it with that beautiful left foot of his, Palmer, into a position where he can't get anywhere near the keeper. And it's been coming. Well, I can't believe how great a game this is.
Well, he's been the assist king so far this season, really, Cole Palmer, with 4. Now he's back amongst the goals. That's 28 goals in 53 appearances for Cole Palmer since his move from Manchester City's academy.
Wow, 1-1 this game, 21 minutes gone. I think there's going to be more goals.
Do you think?
I'm going to put my neck on the block.
I love it when you make these daring predictions, Alvin Martin. 22 minutes gone. 1-1. One thing's for certain, we're not going to go without chances to score more goals. Ball's back with Sanchez. Just rolls his foot on the ball, passes out into the middle of the half. Wow. Gusto, good ball up to Jackson. Wow. Now he's trying to release Madueke, who's in behind Dunk. Another one-on-one. Madueke squares it for Sancho, and the flag goes up again. And it did look like Sancho was offside, I have to say. Madueke elected to be unselfish, exactly like Jackson had been for the equaliser.
That was close. That was closer, I think.
Well, they're checking for offside.
This one was closer than the first one, Dance.
Well, there's 2 checks. I mean, was Madueke onside when the ball was played through for him? And then was his ball to Sancho putting his teammate in an offside position? Well, the VAR sort of caption is up on the Jumbotron screens around us here. Meantime, Hull City have equalised against Cardiff. Mohamed Baloumi making it 1-1, and Shrewsbury lead Rotherham by a goal to 0 in League One through George Lloyd. Sutton United 2-0 up in the conference. Dundee United 1-0 up at Kilmarnock in the Scottish Premiership. And it looks like the free kick is going to be awarded to Brighton, because the offside
Still being checked. It must be close.
Still being checked. They're checking the offside because of where the ball's been spotted. They think the offside, the more likely one, is the one where Madueke received the ball just over halfway. And Peter Banks is still waiting for the official word. Michael Oliver's the VAR today, along with Natalie Aspinall back at Stockley Park. And still we wait whilst they draw the lines and get the compasses out and slide rules and all that, whilst they work out what on earth is going on.
This is where I don't get it. If this is offside, it's a straightforward line, isn't it? I don't understand why this takes so long.
Well, Peter Banks now walking over the halfway line. It is offside. Free kick. On we go at 1-1. Well, your prediction was nearly right, Albion.
Yeah, it was to being close, though.
It was in the back of the net, in fairness to you. Even if it was ruled out. Rutter, lovely ball in field, finding Viefert. Immediately spreads play out to the Brighton left for Kauro Mitoma. And back goes Madueke to close down the space. Mitoma lays it back to Estepinian. First time cross, deep to the far post. Kadioglu heads it down, drops inside the area, and it's Gusto who volleys it clear. Brighton tidy up. Dunk plays it out to Estepinian just over the halfway line. Oh, he's robbed by Madueke. 3-on-3 break for Chelsea. Madueke now has Jackson in an offside position. Palmer trying to go on the outside. It's hit against him by Estepinian, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Brighton are really playing with fire with the way they're defending. 3-on-3 then, but Chelsea couldn't profit. 1-1.
I mean, I think you're right. I think both sets of defenders are leaving themselves one-on-one, and the attacking players on both sides are really going for it, and both teams are set up to attack more than defend. But Brighton look really flimsy at the back. There's times when they've been reliant on a millimetre here or a millimetre there of getting offside, and they've already had 2 ruled off, haven't they, Chelsea? But I mean, I don't know what the coaches feel, but I'm having a heart attack up here. Never mind what they must feel like.
Chelsea 1, Brighton 1. Talksport 2, 25 minutes gone. Bromley have equalised against MK Dons in League 2, Michael Cheek. Carlisle 1, Grimsby 1. The Mariners equalised through Luca Barrington, and Millwall through George Honeyman 1-0 up against Preston. Jadon Sancho for Chelsea at 1-1. Rides the challenge down the right hand side of Kalioglu, works in field for Enzo, goes back for Sancho, down in the area, penalty given to Chelsea. Jadon Sancho was caught between 2 Brighton players who nudged him to the floor, and Peter Banks did not hang around and gave Chelsea the penalty, and they have the chance to come from behind and take the lead here.
It will be looked at. It will be looked at. I think the referee, I thought it as well, but did Sancho go down too easy? I don't know. VAR will sort this out, and it'll be there. I'll be surprised if they go against the referee in this. But it was a little give and go, and he's got to give again. Sancho really is driving at people, isn't he?
Yep.
He's driving at people. He's giving it. He's going. He's a real handful. And when full flight, he takes some stopping. Illegally there, it looks like.
Well, he's got a point to prove on loan from Manchester United. Jadon Sancho. Yellow card for Lewis Dunk for a bit too much back chat to the referee. The penalty is being given. It is confirmed after the challenge on Jadon Sancho. Elsewhere, Cambridge 0, Lincoln 1, Freddie Draper. Birmingham 1, Peterborough 2. Willemsen gets a goal back for the Blues against the Posh, and Carlisle back in front against Grimsby. Dominic Sadie makes it 2-1. Cole Palmer is just about to spot the ball down. He's already scored Chelsea's equaliser. Can he put them ahead at the shed end away to our left? Verbruggen standing on his goal line, both arms aloft. Palmer, a 3 or 4 pace run up to the ball. Referee blows his whistle. Palmer, left-footed, slides it into the bottom left-hand corner. Clinical penalty from Cole Palmer, and he has put Chelsea 2-1 up with a brace of his own in this enthralling first half at Stamford Bridge, with surely more to come. Chelsea 2, Brighton 1.
Well, Palmer is a man on fire. That's why 8 out of every 10 scarves that I've seen in the crowd have got his name on them. And you wouldn't want anyone else in a blue shirt taking that penalty rather than him. But what a game. I mean, you've got to give credit to Chelsea. They went a goal down and they didn't take their foot off the pedal. They've just kept going and going, and they've had 2 goals disallowed. They're 2-1 up now. What an extraordinary game.
We've only played 27 minutes. Watford leads Sunderland by a 1-0. Fetzi Ebasele puts the Hornets ahead. And we are 2-1 here to Chelsea, if you're just joining us on Talksport 2. Maybe you flicked over from Talksport because you've heard about all these goals going in. You want to know what the Dickens is going on. Well, we're wondering that as well, myself and Albion Martin. Chelsea 1-0 down and 2-1 up. Jackson fires the ball through. Madueke is pulled back by Estepinian. He's going to get a yellow card because Webster was there.
Yeah, he's lucky. There's a case for a red there, but there was another player right beside him, and that's gotten away with it.
A bit of a back chat as well from Enzo Fernandez. Estepinian got a yellow card. Boy, it's all kicking off here.
He was through there. He was through. I'll tell you, and the professional foul has brought him down. If there hadn't been another Brighton player close there, we'd have seen a red card.
Well, the law is denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity, and I think the presence of Adam Webster probably meant that it wasn't a clear goal-scoring opportunity. But what it is a free kick to Chelsea, 30 yards out, just to the right of centre, after another break from the halfway line. Must have seen, every time Chelsea go forward, they look like scoring.
It's a creaking defence from Brighton's point of view, no doubt about that.
So Gusto and Palmer are the two players standing over it. Brighton's wall is inside the D. That gives you an idea of how far out this is for Chelsea. And the way Palmer's spotting the ball down, I think he fancies a crack at this.
No, I think it is within range. Right on the cusp of being in range, I think. Or is that 28 yards?
I would say so.
Maybe a bit more, 29.
Gusto standing right next to the ball. Palmer just parallel to it, 2 or 3 paces back. Referee blows his whistle. Palmer goes for goal and scores! What a hat-trick! What an afternoon for Cole Palmer! What a player this young boy is! Extraordinary stuff from the young England star. A first-half hat-trick and a free kick right out of the top drawer to seal that hat-trick. From 1-0 down, Chelsea have raced into a 3-1 lead, and we barely had half an hour at Stamford Bridge. What a player, what a game. Chelsea 3, Brighton 1.
I'm shocked. I don't believe I'm watching here. I don't believe it. This has been one of the best half an hours of football I've seen for a long, long time. The pace, the precision, the entertainment, the skill, individual talents of a player, an outstanding player in Palmer has been absolutely incredible. I mean, that is as good a free kick as you are going to see. A keeper is diving full length, and it more or less touches the inside of the post as it goes in. We said it was on the cusp of not being able to be done. Well, he's just done it. And ain't all he's done this afternoon. He has been, we said in the first 10 minutes he hadn't got into the game.
That's very true. And now he scored a 10-minute hat-trick.
Wow.
Buckle up, folks. You sense there's a bit more to come. Chelsea 3, Brighton 1 on Talksport 2. Madueke tries to get the better of Mitoma, and Brighton must be wondering what on earth has happened. Having taken the lead, they now find themselves 2 goals behind. Cucurella, good strong challenge to keep the ball away from Rutter. Malo Gusto thought about passing back to his keeper. Can't do it because he knows that Rutter is closing down that route. And so he finds Sancho. Sancho gives the ball away to Jorginho Rutter. Tried to duck past the defender. Ball's in the area. Hinshelwood sends the ball towards goal and drags it across the face of goal. Jack Hinshelwood nearly made it 3-2.
He was only inches off that, getting on it. He was inches off it. You know, they forced themselves into positions. I think that was through pure desire, really. Brighton trying to pin them in to the corner flag here, Chelsea. Chelsea persistently trying to play out and then got caught out a little bit. But look, these are the for and against the way you play. You know, you want to play out the back because it gets you in position where you can score goals. And they've scored 3. They could have been 5. So the way they play is the right way. But every now and again you do get caught.
You're listening to Chelsea 3, Brighton 1 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Given away by Sanchez, and a chance for 3-2, and it is 3-2. Now Sanchez gives the ball away to Carlos Baleba, and he rolls the ball into the back of the net. And I'm running out of space on my piece of paper. This is madness at Stamford Bridge. 33 minutes gone, and Carlos Baleba has a goal gifted to him. by Robert Sanchez, his former teammate, and all of a sudden Brighton are back within a goal. 3-2.
Well, Sanchez, what he's doing, I do not know. There's one thing playing out from the back. There's another thing just passing it to one of the opposition. They've got yellow shirts on. I mean, it's not as if you can see a different colour there, but that is a gift, an absolute gift, and it gives them a lifeline. And now they're coming again, Brighton.
Estepinian down the inside left, plays it infield to Hinshelwood. Hinshelwood up to the edge of the area, could have had a shot. Belaber again! Oh. Good save by Sanchez, pushing it out to the left-hand side, and it's out for a Brighton throw. Belaber just launched that from downtown. Great save from Sanchez, making up for the error. 3-2.
I don't know if it's made up for the error, but it was a great save. It's incredible. It's incredible, but it's like it's like two people slugging it out in a boxing ring, isn't it? And you think that one of them is being knocked out, and then they come back with another punch. It's incredible.
Anyway, as I was saying, wait a minute, I better be careful. Welbeck's trying to go through now. He's guided back from Colwill. You're listening to Chelsea 3, Brighton 2 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, they've got a van. And if either defensive coach for Chelsea or Brighton's got a plan, I want to see it, because it's 3-2 and we played 34 and a half minutes here on your home of exclusive Premier League Saturday 3 o'clock commentaries, and I think we've chosen well today.
I think if you were a neutral coming to this game today and you came in, you think, and you'd come in, I don't know, from somewhere like Peru or South America, so you think, I'll have to come to this more regularly. This is worth making the trip for, isn't it?
Belaber finds Rutter on the Brighton right, cutting infield to the midway point of the Chelsea half, through the legs of a defender. Hinshelwood has it at the edge of the area, heavy touch, breaks for Welbeck. Welbeck skies it from just inside the 18-yard line with Colwill on the deck. Couldn't find the target, Danny Welbeck, and Chelsea end up with a goal kick. 3-2.
When you're looking at this, seriously now, you're looking at Chelsea, how good they've been since they went a goal down. You also think, you know what, they could have conceded 3 or 4 goals, and that's another example of it there. I think Welbeck, will feel he should have done better with that. He's on the edge of the box, he's got to hit the target from there. But Chelsea, as great as they've been, in Palmer especially, with his hat-trick, they've got to be better defensively. There's no way that you can be this open. I understand that you want to play out the back, you want to be able to get goals. But there's also got to be a semblance of consistency in terms of not allowing the opposition to look at your goal.
That's former England and West Ham stalwart Alvin Martin alongside me, Ian Danter, today at Stamford Bridge, where we've got 9 minutes to half-time. Brighton have won the ball back again in Chelsea's defensive third, as Gusto was dispossessed by Mitoma, but a cross came for Farner to just hack it into those Chelsea fans in the lower tier of the West Stand. Goals elsewhere. Hull City are 2-1 up on Cardiff now. They were behind. Bellumi with his second for Hull. Newport lead Crewe by a 1-0. And Ben Doak on loan from Liverpool's given Middlesbrough the lead against Stoke. And Dundee 0, Aberdeen 2 in the Scottish Premiership. Decent start to the season for Aberdeen. Throw-in looking for Mitoma down the left-hand side of the box, but Gusto retrieves it, drives it downfield, comes off Hinshelwood, drops in the centre of the half, just gets away from Vifa, but then there's a foul for a challenge on Enzo Fernandez by Mats Vifa. So in the Premier League, Arsenal 1-0 up on Leicester. Newcastle and Manchester City drew 1-1 earlier today. You heard it live on Talksport. Everton 0, Palace 1. Nottingham Forest Fulham is goalless, and Wolves Liverpool is live at 5:30. We'll bring you regular updates during the course of the game day phone-in with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Chelsea are in again on the counter-attack. It's Madueke inside the area, draws the keeper and fires it wide. Big chance. There were 3 players up. Jackson is standing motionless at the far post, waiting to catch Madueke's ideas to say, "Oi, I'm over here, I was free." Yep. Madueke in that instance was selfish and dragged his shot wide, and it's still only 3-2 to Chelsea.
And he was onside. He was definitely onside there. So that should be another goal. I mean, incredible, really. When you look at the pace they've got up front, and I mean, look, I've paid a lot of compliments to Brighton, but they are so weak at the back as well. They're all over the place. They're taking so many chances, and they've forgotten that they've come here to obviously try and score goals. But you have got to defend as well.
Mitoma down the left-hand side, finds Welbeck. Welbeck fires across into the area. Cucurella heads it back from whence it came. Gusto tries to head it further clear. Palmer runs into Vifa, actually gets the better of him, and then goes down. Palmer, he's clipped. Free kick to Chelsea in their right-back position. Millwall 2-0 up on Preston in the Championship. Romain Esse with a second for the London Lions. Well, we're watching other London Lions here of West London.
I wonder what the Chelsea fans think, because they're seeing a great game of football. It'll be a long time since they see a game as good as this, certainly as open as this.
Well, who's the first Chelsea fan you think of who works at Talksport? Andy Jacobs. What do you think he's thinking right now? I bet it's not all positive.
No, the degree of frustration about it as well. But you know, they're scoring goals. It's a game. I feel privileged to be at this first half. 39 minutes. You don't want it to end, do you? But it's so open. You know, they should be out of sight now, really. But it's still very much up for grabs at 3-2.
Just want your match fee.
Yeah.
Okay. 6 minutes to half time. Chelsea away. 3-2 up. It's Gusto into the area looking for Sancho, but out comes for Bruggen to around the penalty spot to plunge on top of the loose ball. Very nearly a perfect cross for Malo Gusto, with two players waiting for that ball in. 3-2.
The only reason that's not in the back of the net is because the keeper comes out so far. He reads it and he takes a chance and he goes and claims it, really, because if he doesn't, then that would be in the fourth goal.
Duncan Webster. Just for a moment, there's a fleeting bit of hush, and then Vifa looks to release Matoma down the left-hand side. Good defensive header from Gusto, heads it out of play for a Brighton throw. We got 5 minutes to half-time. This is the scoreline that we ended with in the Premier League here between these two last season, and we've still got over 45 minutes to play.
I'm already thinking about the half-time team talks from both managers. I don't know where they'd start. Honestly, don't know where they'd start, either of them.
It's currently Chelsea 3, Brighton 2, as the ball's rolled back to Verbruggen. He gives the ball away. Enzo Fernandez finds Jadon Sancho, threads it into the area. Palmer! Oh, he's got a fourth! What a finish, low down at Verbruggen's near post. This boy just cannot stop scoring. Chelsea's talisman, and right now he's Chelsea's match winner. He's fourth, Chelsea's fourth. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. Everyone's doing the cold celebration for Cole Palmer.
Well, I don't know what you say about this guy. Honestly, it's an unbelievably intelligent finish, because he makes the run. The ball slid in perfectly for him. Verbruggen looks like he's got his near post covered, but I think it's because he takes it so quickly. And it's like he's got a radar in his head. He knows where it's got to go precisely. It must have gone just inside the post. The keeper thinks he's got it covered, but this is Palmer. You ain't, mate.
Make that 31 goals in 53 appearances for Cole Palmer. He's not a striker, remember. He's a number 10, and he's a perfect 10.
Wow.
If he doesn't get a 10 out of 10 rating the way he's playing this afternoon, then the game's gone.
No, it's hard to explain it, because
Albion Martin's shaking his head next to me here.
The penalty was average.
Oh, that sounds like a dad of a footballer trying to mark him down. Yeah, you could have done better with that penalty, son. So Brighton once again find themselves 2 goals behind. 42 minutes gone on Talksport 2. I was about to give you the odds with our friends at William Hill. That's changed. Give you that in a minute. Meantime, Dunk at the back. And there's a mixture of joy and shock around this stadium and in the press box right now about the way this game is unfolding. Meanwhile, Kadioglu just gets the better of Sancho, tries to release Rutter down the right wing. Rutter runs across Cucurella, goes down, wants a free kick, and Peter Banks wants nothing to do with it.
Well, he's got no reason to go down there. There must have been contact, but was it accidental?
Ball cleared long downfield and over Webster's head. Jackson's giving chase, but Dunk should get there first. Guides it back to Verbruggen, and a first-time ball out to Webster. So it is currently Chelsea 4, Brighton 2, and for the latest odds, I'm nervous to read this in case something happens. Head to William Hill. I will break off for a minute because Rutter's breaking down the right hand side up against Cucurella. Feeds it into the area. It's pulled back by Karagioglu, cleared away by one Chelsea shirt. It was Colwell who was back there, and then thumped downfield straight onto the chest of Webster. Baleba lays it back to the centre circle for Dunk. Chelsea to win, right? At 4-2, it's 1-14 on they are to win. Brighton 25-1 to come back and win. The draw priced at 9-1, all thanks to William Hill, 18 plus. It's Welbeck, good save by Sanchez. Comes out to the left-hand side of the box, and Mitoma couldn't get the shot away. Suddenly, Danny Welbeck was played in by a reverse ball into the area, tried to put the ball to the right of Sanchez, but he plunged to his right and made a good save.
And it was a perfect ball, perfect strike, and a perfect save. Great football.
Ball's back on halfway. We're into the last minute of normal time in this first half on Talksport 2. Vifa for Brighton. Mitoma in space out on the left-hand side, running at Malo Gusto. Skips past him, puts the ball across the face of goal. It's deflected behind by Caicedo, who punches the air, celebrating the challenge, as we see so often nowadays from defenders. Alvin Martin never did that back in the day for West Ham.
Oh, I'll tell you what, one thing I would say with absolute surety is that the attacks of both sides are on top.
Yeah, I'll give you that, Alf. That's what we pay you the big bucks for. Corner kick for Estepinian for Brighton to around the penalty spot. Hinshelwood went up with gusto, headed out by Cucurella. Caicedo brings it down, keeps it away from Webster. Webster, though, then wins back the second ball. Jackson goes out to the far touchline, quite deep for Chelsea, works it back to Fofana. Ball gets stuck under his feet a little bit, allows Hinshelwood to try and close down the space, and then it's hit long by Fofana downfield. And for once, there's no Chelsea players herring into the Brighton half.
What made me laugh then is that Fofana's cleared that long, and all the Chelsea fans are actually applauding it because they don't want him passing it around the edge of his own penalty area. Just play safe for 5 minutes, just get us to half time and no more goals.
Well, 8 minutes of extra playing time in this first half. I'm not going to complain about that. 8 minutes additional time. We're into that now on Talksport 2 at the end of this first time. Again, space for Mitoma, left-hand side, approaching the corner of the area. Tried to play the ball in with the outside of his right boot, and it was blocked by Chelsea. They get it half clear, but Brighton have it back again. Baleba skips away from the challenge of the Chelsea captain, Enzo Fernandez. And now it's out to Rutter on the right-hand side. Cucurella facing him up. Rutter thinks about cutting in field. Checks his run for a moment. Still has it. Cucurella still watching every move. Karagioglu, he cuts in from this right-hand side. Plays the ball into Welbeck. Controls it, gives it back to Rutter, right-hand corner of the area. Running at Cucurella once more. Wants to make room for a shot maybe. Gets the shot, it's blocked by Colwell. Comes out to Baleba. Tries to lob it around to the left-hand side, and it will make its way through to Kaoru Mitoma. Mitoma now, trying to go on the outside of Gusto. Good challenge. Malo Gusto. Madueke, heavy touch. Allows Estepinian to win it back. Drives the cross in over the head of Welbeck and Rutter, who are inside the area. And Cucurella will bring it down and try and bring it clear. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. At the moment, this could be anything. Welbeck, midway point of the Chelsea half. Gives it back to Baleba. Now Webster, just in front of the centre circle. Stroke out to Mitoma on the left-hand side. Puts an early ball into the area. Down goes Hinshelwood. Header from Rutter. Goes wide by 3 or 4 yards. He went up with Cucurella, the taller man. Rutter got there first, but didn't get the purchase he wanted on the header. Chelsea goal kick. We played 2 minutes of the minimum 8 that have been added on. And I don't see many people going for a pie and a pint into the concourses, Alvin.
I think that most of the Chelsea fans and the Brighton fans will be in a daze at half time and pick the bones out of that, as they say, that first 45. But look, it's what he does really well there, Cucurella on the back post, is that they have done that. They've got Mitoma on it on the left hand side there, Brighton. He takes his man out, or he shifts it to the far post, and Cucurella is not the biggest, but he just does enough so many times just to put the attacker off. Although he's at a height of disadvantage, no doubt about it, he is good in that situation.
4-2 here. Arsenal 2-0 upon Leicester in the Premier League right on half-time. Leandro Trossard getting that goal. Motherwell are in front now against St Mirren in the Scottish Premiership. They were behind. Lennon Miller with that goal. And now here come Brighton again, 4-2 down. It's Karagioglu with a swirling cross from the right-hand side. Mitoma tried to keep it in right on the dead ball line and wrap his foot round it, but it goes behind for a goal kick. Brentford-West Ham is a 1-0 scoreline at half-time. That first-minute goal again for Brentford. Brian Burbo scoring it, and Everton 0, Palace 1 is also half-time. Mark Gahey, and 0-0 Forest Fulham. That has also reached the break at the City Ground. But here at Stamford Bridge, we've still got 4 minutes of entertainment to come before the whistle goes from Peter Banks. And a long kick downfield from Sanchez. Again, can't find its target. This time it was Sancho down this left-hand side he was looking for. I think I need something stronger than the cup of tea they've got in that press box behind us at half-time.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Look, at least we called it before the game.
We did.
All four of us said that we think there's going to be goals in this game.
We did.
Did anyone say that it was going to be 4-2 at half-time?
Not sure many had that on their predictors, no. You sure you've not got your hip flask with you, Albion? Mitoma goes up to the edge of the area and goes down, wants a free kick, but Peter Banks was nowhere near interested in giving Brighton a free kick there. Viefert jumps with Palmer, gets the better of him. The ball goes out of play off Palmer for a Brighton throw just over the halfway line.
I'll tell you what, if the Chelsea fans liked Palmer before this, what are they going to, when he walks off at half-time?
Well,
do you think he's going to get a few pats on the back?
I'd have to look down the history books for the last time a Chelsea player scored four goals in the first half. Was it 20 minutes from the first to the fourth goal? Producer Reese's just confirmed that. 20-minute quadruple. And still plenty of time for more. Not just from Palmer, but from everybody else out there on the field.
He did have a slow start to the half, didn't he?
Yeah, we were ready to throw him under the bus then, weren't we, Alvin?
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, maybe I'm overstating it. It's a foul on Caicedo from Viefert as Baleba was starting to make tracks down the inside left channel, so Chelsea have a free kick. 50 minutes gone. Free kick to Chelsea just inside their own half. Alvin Martin.
I think, Dan, so what we were saying is that, the first sort of 5 or 6 minutes, he wasn't getting on the ball enough, and I think somebody got a message to him that Ian Danton and Alvin Martin had made an observation up in the commentary box that he needed to take a bigger part in the game.
If I thought that I had any influence at all on what somebody like Cole Palmer could do. Another long ball downfield asking Madueke to give chase, but Dunk's there this time to tidy up, and the ball is now with Mats Viefert. Guides it back to Dunk, and now the goalkeeper for Bruggen inside his own penalty area. Dunk has it back, and there's still 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time to play. Ball hit long by Dunk, trying to get Mitoma in behind Fofana, but Fofana does really well, brings the ball down on his instep out the sky, and then coolly guides it back to Sanchez. This time Sanchez puts his foot through it. Palmer's come back from an offside position. Free kick to Brighton and Hove Albion, taken quickly by Dunk. Viefert finds Estepinian pushing in from the left hand side. Mitoma wants it out on the left wing, but Estepinian couldn't find him. Chelsea only got it half clear. Lovely quick feet from Viefert down the left hand side, but then he's collided into by two Chelsea players, Madueke and Gusto, and Chelsea come away with it. Former Brighton man Caicedo finds Gusto again. Lovely run, cutting infield from the right, and sends it out to the inside left channel for Sancho. Approaching the left-hand corner of the penalty area, tries to get the better of Baleba, still has it Sancho, and then Baleba gets to his feet. There was claims for handball against Carlos Baleba, and I think it hit his elbow, and he didn't really see. Well, it wasn't deliberate, let's put it that way. Certainly wasn't trying to gain an advantage, I don't think. Into the last minute of minimum stoppage time, and then we can all go and have a drink. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. Well, Faye Carruthers can't have a drink, and nor can you. Actually, nor can I. Just have to sit here and try and sum up this first half of extraordinary football. Welbeck in the centre circle, guides it back for Baleba. Kadioglu making a run down the right-hand side, onside. Out goes Sancho to close him down. Caglioli with a cross, and it's claimed by Sanchez inside his 6-yard box, and that may well be that for the first half. 4-2, Alvin.
Yeah. It's a weird atmosphere in here, isn't it? It really is.
It's disbelief.
I think honestly, there's got to be, I don't know, he's here, 45,000, I don't know, it's stunned.
Yep.
I think we all are.
Sanchez clears from hands, and it drops just over the halfway line. Dunk heads it back to his keeper, just bounces once through for Bruggen, and there goes the half-time whistle for the most incredible, extraordinary, enthralling 45 minutes of Premier League football that you could ever wish to have here at Stamford Bridge. Brighton and Albion came here and took the lead when Jorginho Rutter was brave and went up for a header with Sanchez out of his ground, and that was Brighton 1 up. And then Cole Palmer, who'd been quiet for the first 10 minutes, stole the show. Scored on 21 and 28 minutes. The 28-minute goal was a penalty, and then a brilliant free kick on 31 minutes to put Chelsea 3-1 up. Back came Brighton. Carlos Baleba profited from a Sanchez mistake to make it 3-2. And then Chelsea promptly went down the other end 7 minutes later. Palmer got his fourth with a really clever finish, beating Verbruggen at his near post. Sum that one up at half-time at Stamford Bridge here on Talksport 2 with more to come. I think we can safely say that. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2.
I mean, that's a hospital pass. How do we sum that up in the 15 minutes that we've got, plus a break, plus a preview of another game in terms of Liverpool Wolves later on? That was absolutely scintillating to watch. We knew it was going to be a goal fest, but not quite what we got there. And by the way, thank you to Statman Johnny Blaine. Cole Palmer is the first player in Premier League history to score 4 goals before half-time. He is such a talent, Alvin Martin.
And there were 2 disallowed goals as well. I can't get my head round how open a game it was. You know, forecasting, Premier League games sometimes isn't easy, but this one you would have said before is going to be an open game. 2 teams looking at attacking, scoring goals. But some of the quality of the attacking play was extraordinary. I'm talking about the pace, the precision, the movement, but some of the defending.
Oh yeah. Listen, Alvin, there was no defending.
Well,
I think it's fair to say.
Let's get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about goalkeepers in the Premier League era right now, basically playing as outfield players. Sanchez pretty much had assists for both of Brighton's goals.
That's right. That's right. And he's sitting in there with his team 4-2 up, and the other keeper really hasn't made a mistake in respect of that.
You've got to feel sorry for Verbruggen, actually.
He hasn't had a chance.
I have to say, which was I'm intrigued because I know which one's my favourite. Which is your favourite of the 4 Cole Palmer goals?
Do you know the last one? I thought the free kick, but the last one was so clever that I could, I see it before anyone else did, and to get it in that spot because he knew what he was doing, Faye. Just a sign of a class player.
The 4th was my favourite as well. I thought the free kick was brilliant. Anything that's top bins is always beautiful. But the ball from Sancho we didn't talk about. It was perfect to his feet. And this is the thing. You've effectively got a front 4 with this Chelsea side at the minute. They are so attacking. They know exactly where they're all going to be. Sancho's only just joined and he's already part of that. They're leaving him way too much space on the left-hand side, Brighton, for sure. You said in commentary, actually, that Fabian Hürzeler and Enzo Maresca, you don't know what they're going to say to their players at half-time. They can't really say more of the same because they've got to tighten up.
No. Do you know the 4th goal that you're talking about with Palmer? I'm looking at defensively, and if somebody has got a ball like Sancho, and he plays a ball, the run and the ball are in unison to perfection, to the millimetre, to the milliseconds. It's really hard to be able to do anything about it. Then you hope that somebody hasn't got a finish on the end of it, so he hits the post or he hits it wide or he snatches at it. But when something happens perfect, bum, bum, bum. So ball in, run and ball at the same time, and then the finish. There's nothing you can do. And I hear people say, you can always stop goals. You can't stop a perfect pass and a perfect run and a perfect finish. Not like that.
Do you know what I loved about it? He literally picked the slimmest of tightest of angles with Verbruggen actually diving right to the near post. And he had acres of space on the other side of the goal. He chose the hardest option and it was the best option, and what a finish it was. He was absolutely scintillating. From a Brighton point of view, what do they need to do? Because this Chelsea defence can be got at.
Look, that is what I'm fascinated by, what they're going to do in the second half, Brian, because they know they can cause problems for Chelsea. And the worrying thing is that Maresca in his dressing room will be sitting there thinking, do you know what, we can score another 3 goals in the second half, but we could concede another 4. That's the way the game's gone. So where do you get, as a coach, the balance between being stable and solid defensively, but also giving this crowd here more in terms of entertainment and goals. And you've got to somehow pull it back a little bit. When you've got two teams that are saying, do you know what? We're not going to sit back. So Brighton are not going to say, okay, we're just going to sit with a 4 at the back, and we're going to have 2 in front, and we're going to be solid for 10 minutes. If they do that, then it gives you, as Chelsea now, an opportunity of saying, okay, we'll go and score and we'll win it back in their off. But that's not going to happen. I can't see it happening at the moment unless something substantially changes at half-time. I don't know. Faye, you're asking me a question I haven't got the answer to. I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be a cricket score, it feels. I've got Vindaloo in my head. We're going to score one more than you, but who's going to come out on top? That is the question. This is Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. What a game here at Stamford Bridge. A 10-minute hat-trick for Cole Palmer. 2 mistakes from Robert Sanchez, and it's Chelsea 4, Brighton 2 at half-time. Second half action coming next, plus we'll bring you the other half-time scores from across the Premier League and EFL.
Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
You don't just check in to a village hotel. You work out. You jump in. You play on. You tuck in. And drink up. Village Hotels. 33 locations with everything under one roof. A huge gym with pool and great membership opportunities. And a buzzing pub and grill with delicious food, ice-cold beers and live sport. Check out villagehotels.com and work out, stay, meet and play.
Settle down for a night of crime. Witness a heist. Follow a car chase. Eat too much popcorn. Meet a mafia boss. Join in on a bank robbery. Think about making a cup of tea. Be too comfortable to get up. For less.
Selected IKEA sofas are now at a new lower price, along with thousands of other products. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Screwfix Sprint delivers from store to door in 60 minutes or less. So, whatever the job, you can do it with less waiting and more working, less downtime and more doing. So don't break your stride. Screwfix Sprint. Order now exclusively on a Screwfix app. £5 delivery charge, no minimum spend. Don't stop. Sprint. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply. Selected products.
Football is back and it's game on. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals. Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
The Philly cheese stack is back at McDonald's. 2 beef patties, crispy and grilled onions, cheddar cheese, all topped with a melted cheddar cheese sauce. What could be better? How about playing the Monopoly game with a Philly cheese stack too? Yes, please. Until 15th of October from 11 a.m. Participating UK restaurants. Subject to availability. 18 plus. App may be required. See mcdrules.co.uk.
Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. Like Wolves versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Game Day. Live football as intense as we can legally broadcast it.
And he whips it in the near post.
Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2.
This is Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. I'm Faye Carruthers, privileged to have watched a 6-goal thriller here at Stamford Bridge, and it's only half-time. Second half coming shortly, plus we'll preview tonight's 5:30 kickoff between Liverpool and Wolves. First, though, let's take a classified check on the half-time scores, starting with...
This is Game Day. Half-time classifieds.
Arsenal 2, Leicester 0, Brentford 1, West Ham 0. That's just kicked off again. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2, Everton 0, Crystal Palace 1 has just kicked off second half. Nottingham Forest 0, Fulham 0 has as well. Wolves Liverpool is a 5:30 kickoff.
Sky Bet Championship.
Hull 2, Cardiff 1, Leeds 1, Coventry 0, Middlesbrough 1, Stoke 0, Millwall 2, Preston 0 is the latest score, as is Oxford United 0, Burnley 0, Portsmouth 0, Sheffield United 0, and Watford 1, Sunderland 0.
Sky Bet League 1.
Birmingham 1, Peterborough 2, Blackpool 1, Burton 0 is the latest score. Bristol Rovers 1, Wickham 0 is the latest. Cambridge United 0, Lincoln 1 is half-time. Leyton Orient 0, Wrexham 0. Northampton 0, Mansfield have just scored. They've got a first goal even in the second half. Shrewsbury 1, Rotherham 0, Stevenage 0, Charlton 0, and Wigan 0. Exeter 0 has just restarted.
Sky Bet League 2.
Bromley 1, MK Dons 1, Carlisle 2, Grimsby 1, Cheltenham 0, Fleetwood 1 is the latest score. At half-time it's Doncaster 0, Chesterfield 1, Gillingham 1, Barrow 0, Morecambe 1, Notts County 0, Newport 1, Crewe 0, and Port Vale 0, Swindon 0. Right, you're up to date with all of the latest scores, so let's look ahead to tonight's Premier League action with Sky Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. Like Wolves versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Now, after Manchester City dropped points in the 1-1 draw with Newcastle earlier on live on Talksport, Liverpool have the opportunity to go top tonight if they can beat Wolves. Dave Rowe will be at Molineux Forest and providing updates on Talksport during the game day phone-in. But Alvin Martin is alongside me. Alvin, Wolves have been hit with a virus heading into this one, so they're struggling to put out a fully strong team. Alisson could be back for Liverpool. Big one if they can get a little bit of a mental boost, perhaps, psychological boost by going top of the table tonight.
Well, look, the Wolves are struggling, and it's the sort of game that Gary O'Neill think, we can go for it. But it's a game they're not expected to win. 1 point from the last 15, so confidence is a bit low. But Forest did beat them, at Anfield, so it can be done, Faye. But Slot looks like he's really got to grips with everything. I think since that Forest defeat, they've gone on a real run. They've won every game, so a great reaction from Liverpool. And at the moment, they're playing some great attacking football. I mean, we're at a game here today. We're seeing great attackers. Liverpool are in that vein of form as well. And when you are, everything's so natural and so easy. Players just play with so much freedom. And it's what you want as a manager. I
feel like we're getting that across the league this season.
Yeah.
It feels very, very open at the moment, and it could be a battle of the strikers.
Look, I think sometimes in a season it's very hard to be as fluent and as punchy in front of goal all the way through. So you get a stage every now and again. I've seen it with Liverpool. They're firing. You think they're getting 3 and 4 goals every, and then all of a sudden you get like a 5-game run where it's not going as well. The secret is keeping it going all the way through. And you touched on it early on at half time. I think the secret of football is you want to score goals first and foremost. That should be your priority. But how do you do that? But also keep yourself safe at the back and getting the balance right between the two. I think that's what Man City have been able to do. In the last 4 years, they score lots and lots of goals, but they aren't not easy to score against.
No.
That's where you've got to get it right, the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's going to be fascinating for Arne Slot to try and do against a Wolves side very low on confidence and without some of their big players today. That is a 5:30 kickoff, and that was a look ahead to this afternoon's Premier League action with Sky Sports. Don't forget you can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before, available with no contract on now, like Wolves against Liverpool live today. Just search Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on now. Like Wolves versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Now, I've just had a conversation with my producer, Will, who said, don't worry about the highlights. That's because the highlights package of that first half would have been about 5 minutes long, and that would have just been the highlights. One incredible first 45 minutes of football we saw here at Stamford Bridge. The Brighton players were first out. I wonder what Fabian Hürzeler had to say to his players. Cole Palmer is giving a big wave to the crowd. Huge smile on his face after scoring 4 goals in that opening 45 minutes. It was a real treat for all of us here. Surely there's going to be more. What's the second half going to bring for us? Who knows? Let's find out in the company of Alvin Martin and Ian Dancer.
Thanks, Faye. Yeah, both teams are out. There were 16 goals in the last 4 meetings between these two. Almost halfway to that this afternoon, with 45 minutes to play. Incidentally, because we were so late finishing in the first half, there's goals that have gone in elsewhere already around the country in the second half. Mansfield in League One lead at Northampton by a goal to nil. Dwight McNeil has equalised for Everton against Palace as we're back underway. Chelsea kicking towards the Matthew Harding in the second half in their blue shirt, shorts and white socks. Blackpool 2-0 upon Burton in League One. Rob Apter with a second for the Seasiders. Leicester have got one back at Arsenal, 2-1. James Justin. Sunderland equalise at Watford, that's 1-1. Wilson Isidore and Macaulay Langstaff. I'm not sure whether that's his first goal for Millwall since his move from Notts County, but he's put Millwall 3-0 up on Preston North End. And Matty Virtue's got his second and Fleetwood's second of the afternoon as they lead 2-0 at Cheltenham. So, Chelsea, with no changes at half-time. Both managers clearly quite happy with the 11s they put out and don't want to make any changes. Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Fofana, Colwill, Cucurella, Caicedo, Enzo, Madueke, Palmer, the 4-goal hero, Sancho and Jackson. And then for Brighton, who have just got some defending to do at the minute, but they do that well enough with Webster and then Baleba. And then he almost gives it away to Madueke, and then it's given away by Estepinian to Palmer, who slides it through to Nicholas Jackson. Left-hand side of the area, fires it straight at Verbruggen, who turns it behind for a corner. Verbruggen has Kadioglu, Webster, Duncan, Estepinian in front of him. Hinshelwood, Baleba, Vifa, Rutter, Mitoma and Welbeck. Fulham have just taken the lead at Forest, a penalty from Raul Jimenez, and Chelsea have a corner, 4-2 up.
Yeah, I think both sides are going to continue to play out, and that was Brighton trying to do it then and get it nicked. I'll tell you what, if you're doing a video on playing out from the back, I think it's something that you could use today on countless occasions of doing it badly for both sides.
How not to do it, yeah. There's a whole... all the players, Chelsea and Brighton, it seems, all clutched around the penalty spot. Now they all break as Enzo's about to deliver the corner from where the Matthew Harding meets the West Stand opposite. Into the near post, headed out strongly by Estepinian, and it will drop out of play for a Chelsea throw out on that far side of the field. Brighton in their change strip today of all yellow with a pinstripe down the shirts. And they keep it in play on the far side with Jorginho Rutter, who got the goal scoring underway on the 8th minute. Good ball in field from him actually to find Baleba, and he in turn finds Vifa. Early ball gets Estepinian away. Mitoma on his outside, herring into the area, closed down for a moment by Gusto and Fofana. Got inside both of those players, but then ran in to the defender who hooked it clear for Chelsea. And Brighton have it back on the halfway line with Lewis Dunk. Alvin Martin's alongside me this afternoon. And Brighton, well, they're only 2 goals down, if you want to look at it that way. Here's Welbeck up to the edge of the area. Challenge gets away from him. Mitoma goes down weakly under very minimal pressure from Malo Gusto.
Yep.
I think he was looking for a penalty and Peter Banks wanted nothing to do with it. 4-2.
Very correct. I'm surprised he maybe didn't book him for that.
Enzo goes out to the left-hand side, meantime for Sancho as Chelsea come forward again. He actually slows the move down. Sancho gives the ball back to Cucurella, and now Colwill, who had a loan spell at Brighton not too long ago last season. Thomas Souček's equalised for West Ham at Brentford. That's 1-1. Ball forward into the area. Jackson go round the keeper. Oh, what a block on the line from Webster. Just the ball floated into the area. Verbruggen horribly out of his ground, beaten to the ball by Nicholas Jackson. Turned and fired it goalwards. Webster, what a block on the line. Corner to Chelsea.
Well, it was great defending that. But, you've got to give credit to Jackson as well. The first touch that he had after the Verbruggen had come out to try and put him under pressure was brilliant. He took it on the half volley. He was running away. It looked like he was going to get the shot away, but he just went for the middle of the goal when really the only thing he could have done was gone for the corner, because Webster made so much ground up to get the block in. Great defender.
Standing ovation for Cole Palmer just for going across to take the corner. And he will take it for Chelsea, swinging it deep to the far post, headed out by Duncan. He was caught. Free kick for a foul on Lewis Dunk. Goals going in elsewhere. Well, Everton have turned it around big style. Dwight McNeil's got his and Everton second. Everton 2, Palace 1. Birmingham 2, Peterborough 2. Oscar Wallin with an own goal. Oh dear. Hull City 3, Cardiff 1. Oscar Zambrano with a third for Hull. And as I mentioned, Thomas Soucek levelled it up for West Ham at Brentford. That's 1-1 at the G-Tech. I just saw Jason Cundy at half-time. He's doing the game day phone-in with Jamie O'Hara. He's getting a bike back to Talksport Towers from here once this game is done. And the first words he says to me, "What about Cole Palmer? What about Cole Palmer? Did Manchester City regret letting him go?" Well, it's an interesting point. I think even the most optimistic Chelsea fan would never have expected that Palmer would have made the impact he's had already. Never mind today with his 4 goals, but what he's done for Chelsea.
He's in the same bracket really in terms, but he's got to do it over a longer period of time, obviously, as De Bruyne. You know, he's somebody that has got a pass in him. He's got goals in him. I mean, he's more prolific in terms of his individual goal scoring. I mean, it's incredible really what he's done today.
Sancho, left wing, picks it up and just skips away from Kadioglu down towards the corner flag. Now he's being held up. Plays it into the area. Palmer tight to the dead ball line. Tries to send it across goal. And it was touched behind by Vifa. Another corner to Chelsea at the Matthew Harding end as Leeds go 2-0 up on Coventry in the Championship. Jayden Bogle with a rare goal up from the back. Corner to Chelsea. 4-2 the score, remember. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Enzo Fernandez again measuring it up with a right-footed in-swinger to come. A lot of zonal marking from Brighton. 3 Chelsea players at the edge of the area not being marked. Goes into the near post. Headed out by Welbeck to Palmer. Palmer fires it over the bar on the volley. Oh, he teed himself up with a ball at the edge of the area and tried to hit a dipping left-footed volley. But in truth, it was 2 or 3 yards over. Goal kick, 4-2.
Everyone's up out the seats, clapping all around us, you know, for the attempted volley. It didn't dip quick enough for him. I think if he took a throw in now, I think everyone would stand up and clap as well. You like him here.
If it found the intended target, yeah. Whip him if it found a Brighton player. Anyway, 4-2. No changes at half-time from either manager. Verbruggen clears out to the left-hand side of the penalty area for Dunk into the feet of Hinshelwood, who was being pressurised by Fofana. He's won it back. Palmer, little reverse ball for Madueke down the right-hand side of the box. Cross is put behind by Webster again. Superb defending for the second time early in the second half by Adam Webster as Chelsea cut Brighton open. 4-2.
Again, it was them trying to play out Brighton. They're not going to obviously change anything that they've started off doing in this game. They're still going to, in the really tight areas in their own penalty area, they're going to continue to pass. And Chelsea looks like they're going to continue to nick it off them.
Palmer with another corner where the East Stand meets the Matthew Harding. We're high up in this East Stand. We've got a brilliant view of this Stamford Bridge pitch. Once again, Chelsea players were in a clutch by the penalty spot. They split apart as the corner comes in. Dunk heads it up in the air, directly up in the air. Helped out by Vifa. Kadioglu tries to get the ball clear. Vifa again will get it out of harm's way. Enzo, lovely sweeping ball, volleyed out to Palmer on the right wing. First time cross is cleared by Welbeck. But it will drop in the centre of the half for Malo Gusto. Now Cucurella. Out to the left-hand side and Sancho. Cucurella's gone again for the return ball. Great cross into the far post and headed away from Jackson. Just wide. And it was Colwell that got the final touch, I think. It's a goal kick to Brighton. And it's 4-2 to Chelsea with 53 minutes gone on Talksport 2.
Well, some of the attacking players being breathtaking from both sides, but mainly from Chelsea's day, Dan. You know, some of it is sweeping, isn't it? Beautiful.
Here come Brighton again, down the left-hand side with Mitoma, almost level with the edge of the area. Plays the ball in field to Vifa, who tried to loft it out to Estepinian, who knew he was in an offside position and just shrugged his shoulders at Vifa and said, well, I can't go for that. No can do, as Hall and Oates used to say. I just realised I'd said that. Throw it to Chelsea. One for the teenagers there on Talksport 2. Here's Baleba, who scored Brighton second. Oh, he finds Rutter in space, tries to play a reverse ball into the area, and that allowed Cucurella to get a foot back in, and Chelsea now launch another counter-attack. It's Sancho going at pace up to the halfway line, slowed down by Vifa. Nicks a lovely ball in field to Enzo. He plays a 1-2 with Jackson, and across comes Lewis Dunk with a vital interception. Goodness me, Brighton are living on their nerves again at the back. Now Mitoma finds Hinshelwood just over the halfway line. Mitoma takes over and tries to dart down the left-hand side. He's got the beating of Gusto for the moment for pace. Gusto now gets goal side. Mitoma rolls it infield for Hinshelwood. Baleba at the edge of the D. Goes for goal, wildly over the top. Goal kick to Chelsea away to our left. 9.5 minutes gone in the second half. Amazingly, we've had no further goals. It's still just 4-2, Albion Martin.
I don't think the mentality or the philosophy of either team has changed either, has it, Dan? You know, I looked at Brighton there. They've got like 7 players on the edge of Chelsea's box. Maybe Baleba, had that shot. He had options left and right of him. But the problem is, if they lose it then, they're dispossessed, then going back the other way, they look so fragile.
One of Jason Cundy, who I saw at half-time, one of his favourite phrases is 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in football. More dangerous than 1-0. What about 4-2? well, when there's still 2 goals in it, effectively.
If they were to get a goal, the next goal in the game, Brighton, then they're not going to stop, are they? No. So then you might get the odd Chelsea fan, or maybe more than the odd Chelsea fan, starting to think, oh, this is not over yet. And then that transmits itself onto the pitch sometimes. So, yeah, the game could turn. I'd be very surprised if they don't score again, though.
Palmer wins at the edge of the area and puts it wide. And the flag stayed down. Suddenly, the ball was won back by Caicedo just outside the D. It broke for Cole Palmer, and he went with his, shall we say, less brilliant right foot and put it wide of the post.
Should score. He should score. And, we're into, certainly, he's breaking records as we speak. But that, the 5th goal, I don't know where that would have put him, but I don't know how many he could get today.
They're about to create a new record book.
Yeah, look, the record books could be shattered, couldn't they? But look, it's moments like that you think, maybe not then. Maybe it will stay as it is.
Double change for Brighton, by the way, Albion. They're bringing off Mats Vifa, the defensive midfielder, and bringing on Yassin Ayari, who's back from loans at Coventry and Blackburn last season. And also Adam Webster is coming off. And a first appearance in the Premier League this season for Igor Julio, the Brazilian centre-back who joined from Fiorentina last season. So, like-for-like switches for the manager, Hertzler. And Brighton have a goal kick at 4-2 down here at Stamford Bridge, live on Talksport 2. Elsewhere, no goals anywhere in the Premier League in the second half, further to what we've already told you. You'll listen to Chelsea 4, Brighton 2 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. Ayari getting involved straight away for Brighton. Ball breaks for Estepinian, does it left-hand corner of the box. Well, a foot in from Madueke, and then anywhere will do. Clearance for Malo Gusto, out for a throw to Brighton on the left-hand side, down beneath our commentary position, high up here at Stamford Bridge. Igor Julio plays a square ball across to Dunk. Dunk along the deck, looking for Welbeck or Rutter through the middle, but it was comfortably intercepted. Palmer with a rare hoik straight up into the air. That wasn't his intention. And then Colwell guides the ball back into his own penalty area for Sanchez, and the referee, Peter Banks, has brought play back because Enzo Fernandez is lying flat on his back in the centre circle, wanting treatment. Just to remind you what's coming up straight after this, the excitement will continue because the Super League playoffs continue on Talksport 2 for the Rugby League. We had Salford against Leigh last night and Warrington against St Helens. I'll bet you any money Stuart Pearce has hot-footed it from St James's Park to get down to Warrington to see that game. Craig Murdoch and the former Man of Steel Paul Cook will be your commentary team for that game. Warrington St Helens, 5:30. Basically, just stay with us straight after this if you want some Super League action. And then got some Rugby Union on Sunday afternoon here on Talksport 2. Leicester Tigers against Bath at Welford Road. Andrew McKenna and Lee Mears will be your commentary team for that. Bags of football to come. But more on that in a moment, because I daren't take my eyes away from the pitch for too often in this game. Madueke's just dragged it out of play And Brighton have themselves a throw-in, taken by Estepinian, down for Julio. And he'll roll it back for Verbruggen, who appears to be the main number one here. Wears the number one shirt, but of course him and Jason Steele, Alvin, had a lot of swapsies last season, didn't they, when De Zerbi was in charge?
Yeah, I think they've, no doubt about it, they've got two good goalkeepers there. I think if you're going to play in goal for Brighton, you've got to be able to play out at the back.
Now Welbeck caught from behind by Colwill. Free kick in the centre of the Chelsea half. A few ironic cheers from the Brighton fans to our left. And it's 2-2 at the Emirates. Leicester have equalised for 2-2. And it's James Justin again. His second of the afternoon, the former Luton player. Faye liked a bit of that. She's happy. For James Justin, you understand, not for Leicester necessarily. But that's 2-2. Gillingham 2-0 up on Barrow in that battle at the top of League 2. Robbie McKenzie. Port Vale leads Swindon elsewhere in League 2. Free kick to Brighton, 4-2 down. Midway point of the Chelsea half. And Jack Hinchelwood could go right or left here with this delivery, because it's maybe slightly to the right of centre perhaps. Dunk and Estepinian and Mitoma. And there's a bit of pushing and shoving between Estepinian and Malo Gusto at the edge of the penalty area, and a few words being exchanged. Peter Banks just standing a few paces back and probably ready just to step in and say, calm it down, lads. Alvin Martin.
I think they've got Dunk on this far post there. Obviously he's the target I would be looking for if I was on the ball, but you've got Palmer marking him. I'm not so sure that's what I'd want.
Not sure that's what Cole Palmer wants.
Yeah, I think the ball's not in a great position to deliver.
No,
it needs to be a little bit wider, really. But if he does win this, he's going to want to put it back down into the danger zone.
Well, now the referee has had a chat with all those protagonists with the pushing and shoving, and the free kick. Well, he's just having a word with Hinchelwood. He's got to move the ball slightly infield and slightly further back. And the referee walks away and he just moves it back from where it was. Chelsea holding their line at the edge of the 18-yard box. Here comes the free kick from Hinchelwood. Palmer goes down. Mitoma leaves it for Dunk. Now Mitoma heads it across the face of goal. It's headed clear by Cucurella. Down for Ayari, who tries to drive. Cucurella there again with a brilliant clearance. And Kalioglu with a strong pass back to his goalkeeper. Stevenage 1, Charlton 0 at the Lamex. Jordan Roberts has put Stevenage ahead in League 1. Here in the Premier League, you're with Talksport 2, just over an hour gone. Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. Kaoru Mitoma is just clipped by Noni Madueke, and that's a free kick to Brighton, quickly taken. Igor picks it up from Estepinian. Now Baleba across to the right hand side, and Jorginho Rutter looking to take on Cucurella for pace. Tries to take it round Cucurella, but clips his ankles. Down goes Cucurella. Free kick to Chelsea, who lead by 4 goals to 2.
Good defending, but they've had a good little spell of possession there, Brighton, without really having any real chances at goal or penetration to their play. But it's the first little bit of sustained possession they've had without turning the ball over and then looking vulnerable themselves.
Pedro Neto comes on for Madueke for Chelsea's first change of the afternoon. And the one thing we know about Pedro Neto is he is rapid. Saw that during his time at Wolves. I remember, Faye won't like me reminding you of this, but a goal he scored at Luton earlier in the season where he was just afterburners on and no one could stop him. So he's on, straight swap for Madueke on the right-hand side.
That's a front four as well now for Chelsea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Formidable front four as well.
Brighton have possession with Danny Welbeck. Guides it back to Dunk. Now Igor has it centre of his own half. Palmer facing him up, so he gives it back to Lewis Dunk into the feet of Ayari, the young Swede. Igor, good ball for Hinchelwood. And Jack Hinchelwood's great-grandfather, Wally Hinchelwood, was a Chelsea player back in the 1950s. Of course, his dad Adam was a Brighton player. And all the players are wearing black armbands today in memory of Barry Lloyd, who's a player who played for Chelsea and managed Brighton. passed away today, very sadly, at the age of 75. Sincere condolences to his family and friends. Barry Lloyd, who took Brighton back up into the second division and very nearly back into the old first division during his spell as manager. Brighton have a free kick taken quickly by Baleba, but the ball from Kadioglu intended for Hinshelwood was misplaced. There's a right old scrap in the centre of the field, and Baleba's been caught by Enzo this time, and it's a free kick to Brighton. Well, we've not had the goals that we were treated to in the first half. We've got just over 25 minutes to go.
They're not having it all their own way, Chelsea. They're 4-2 up. They're not in any real danger at this moment in time, but it's Brighton who are just starting to get better ball possession. It's whether they can make anything of it.
Pulls back with Igor on halfway. Good ball into the feet of Hinshelwood. Lays it off to Estupiñán. Igor again. Cuts infield into the centre circle. Runs away from a couple of challenges and fires a lovely ball out to Rutter on the right wing. Plays it into the box and down goes Ayari under pressure from Cucurella. Just ran across Cucurella and stayed down. And again, Peter Banks is not in the least bit interested in giving a penalty out there this afternoon.
Might have been something in that.
That was a noise, Albion.
Yeah, without seeing a replay, it's difficult, but I don't see why he would want to go down, because he was nearly onto the ball there.
Kilmarnock 3, Dundee United 1 in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon. And Shrewsbury 1, Rotherham 1. Johnson Clark Harris has equalised for the Millers at the New Meadow. 4-2 to Chelsea. Brighton again have a spell of possession inside the Chelsea half. Chelsea win it back. And Moises Caicedo, once off Brighton, just tucks the ball neatly back to another former Seagull, Levi Colwill. And yet another has possession now, the keeper, Sanchez. Fofana, being pressurised by Mitoma. And it's put out of play off the Japanese midfielder's toe for a throw to Chelsea. And don't forget the game day phone-in with Jamie O'Hara and former Chelsea defender Jason Cundy, coming up at 5:30 on Talksport. 03717 22 33 Chelsea have possession on halfway, but Enzo dispossessed by Ayari, but he tried to thread the ball through to find Hinshelwood and was dispossessed. Now Colville is clipped on halfway, and that's a free kick to Chelsea. It's all getting a bit disjointed. Birmingham City 3, Peterborough United 2. Christian Bielik back in the side puts Birmingham ahead. They were 2-0 down at St Andrews, and Lincoln in the same division are 2-0 up at Cambridge. What a dreadful start to the season for Cambridge United. They are 2-0 down. Bailey Cadamarteri, and here come Chelsea with Nicholas Jackson. Onside, it seems. Flag stayed down and he's fired it wide. It's a goal kick. It's a corner, actually. It's come off Lewis Dunk last of all, and the flag stayed down, Alvin Martin, as Jackson suddenly got in behind. But much as with Cole Palmer did a few minutes ago, couldn't find the finish.
Well, I think he should do there. I think he just delayed. He hesitated, and that allowed Dunk to get a touch on the ball. But, you know, his pace really got him in his position, but he could have got the shot away earlier. He didn't. And he'll be kicking himself, especially if he don't score this afternoon, because it's been an attacker's dream, hasn't it, in terms of opportunity.
16th standing ovation in a row for Cole Palmer, I think. I've run out of room as he goes across to take this corner for Chelsea. 4-2 up, right to the 6-yard line. Strong header clear by Dunk. Enzo will retrieve it, finds Palmer again on this right hand side. Quick reverse ball, gets Neto away, feints across with his right, checks onto his left and chips the ball to the far post. And the header from Hinshelwood goes behind for another Chelsea corner over on the far side of the field. 67 minutes gone on Talksport 2. 4-2 it remains to Chelsea, as it was at half time.
Well, it's been a very quiet second half. I've got to say that in comparison to the first half. You know, the goals have dried up. The chances are still there. Maybe, like with Chelsea, possibly. He's had 2 chances, hasn't he, Jackson? That he could have done better with both of them, I think. But it's about killing the game off now for Chelsea and taking all 3 points. And we mentioned about the games they've got coming up. 3 home games in a row, counting this one. What an opportunity to really build their season on a nice platform now.
Enzo's going to take this latest corner for Chelsea at the Matthew Harding end. Right-footed in swinger. In it comes to the near post. Flicked on by Neto. Cucurella! That's number 5! But the flag's gone up and it won't count. Cucurella's celebrations are cut short. He'd hooked the ball home after the ball dropped invitingly for him right in front of goal. But they're checking. The VAR will check for offside, and Alvin Martin's giving me a quizzical look.
I thought it might have been a high foot rather than offside. It must have been.
Well, that's what they're checking for, according to the caption on our big TV screens that they've now put in here at Stamford Bridge. And offside it would appear to be, and there's a double change for both sides. Renato Vega and Mykhailo Mudryk are coming on for Chelsea, but meantime there's a double change for Brighton, and Yakuba Minte and Julio Enciso are coming on. But Cucurella, who was praised in the week by his manager Enzo Maresco for his intelligence and the way he takes things on board as a left back, he's getting a standing ovation. He thought he just made it 5-2, but straight swap to Renato Vega to come on to replace him. And also coming on, Mykhailo Mudryk for Jadon Sancho. And Mudryk, Albion, was excellent. Yes, it was League Two Barrow they were playing and not a Premier League side in the week, but in a season where he's really got to start showing, he was very, very consistent on Tuesday night here.
Well, if he really starts to perform to the level that we all know he's capable of, then it'll be a massive contribution to Chelsea.
Rutter,
when you think about the forwards they've already got, with him on form as well.
Rutter and Kalioglu are the players coming off to allow the two substitutes to come on in Minte and also Enciso for Brighton and Hove Albion. Minte cost Brighton £30 million without having made a single appearance for Newcastle United, whilst Enciso had a bad knee injury last season, just making his way back. And he's wearing number 10, just trying to chase down Malo Gusto. So 20 minutes to go. Blackpool 3, Burton 0. Steve Bruce loving life as a manager once again, you would say. Lovely ball over the halfway line by Cole Palmer, releasing Nicholas Jackson into the area. Oh, he tried to square it across for Pedro Neto, and that allowed Dunk to put it behind. Another chance goes begging for Chelsea to extend their lead.
I mean, Trevor Sermon, he's not selfish, but he needs to be more selfish there. Jackson's using his pace, he's on his right hand side. All right, the angle's against him, but he's got to shoot there. The pass isn't on, and you can see Dunk, he's treading water, trying to get anywhere near him. He's got to take that shot on there, Jackson.
Guess who's gone to get the ball? Yeah, you're right. Goals elsewhere. Bristol Rovers 1, Wickham 1. Dan Harvey makes it 1-1 Wickham with the equaliser. Forest Green lead Hartlepool in the conference. They've had a decent start to life back at that level. Charlie McCann with the goal there. Middlesbrough 2, Stoke 0 in the Championship. Palmer's corner for Chelsea. Very deep to the far post. Headed back across goal. Where's he going to drop? On the 6-yard line. Hooked away by Duncan. There's an offside flag anyway. And as I was mentioning, Blackpool now 3 up on Burton Albion. Lee Evans with the third for the Seasiders. And we've got 18 minutes to go. You're listening to Chelsea 4, Brighton 2 on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget you can stream more Sky Sports football than ever before. Available with no contract on Now. Like Wolves against Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports. Liverpool can go top of the table tonight with a win at Molineux, and you'll hear regular updates from Dave Rowe at Molineux tonight during the course of the game day phone-in with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy from 5:30 on TalkSport. Meanwhile, here on TalkSport 2 Super League, Warrington against St Helens as the playoffs begin in earnest for the right to go to Old Trafford next month for the grand final. Ball's back with Levi Colwill for Chelsea. 18 minutes to go. All the pitch now in shade, even though the sun is still out, to dip below the stand opposite, and the ball's out of play as Mudryk did his best to keep the ball in play from a crossfield pass. And both managers still prowling their technical areas as the ball is with Carlos Baleba for Brighton in the centre circle, being closed down by Jackson, lays it off to Igor. Early ball into the feet of Enciso, but an important interception by Fofana. Enzo Fernandez has it in the centre circle and guides it back via Renato Vega to the goalkeeper, Sanchez. Colwill across for Malo Gusto. And he'll give it back to Fofana and indeed to Sanchez. Now he's been closed down by the run of Minte, who looks full of running as he would just having come on as a substitute. Ball given away by Caicedo. And now Welbeck on the right-hand side for Brighton. Gets it back from Kaoru Mitoma, who's pushed in field. Roll back into the centre of the half. Mitoma again, right-hand corner of the box. Gets away from Renato Vega into the feet of Minter. Turns and shoots, and it's blocked on its way to goal by Colwill. And as it goes to halfway, Jackson wants to get there first, but Dunk beats him to it. It's currently Chelsea 4, Brighton 2, and for the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage. Right now, Chelsea to win 66-1, Brighton to win 80-1. If you fancy the draw, that's 28-1, all thanks to William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. As Enciso wins a free kick off Moises Caicedo just ahead of the centre circle with just over quarter of an hour to go.
They're getting better possession, Brighton, but I just don't think they look as threatening with that possession as Chelsea do when the ball's turned over.
They're giving the ball away again, Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez runs into trouble in the shape of Baleba, and then it's hoofed downfield by Renato Vega. Newport 2, Crewe 1 in League 2. Matt Baker for Crewe. Ball given away was fired back to the keeper for Bruggen onto his chest, and he did well to get rid of it before Pedro Neto was setting upon him. Ball drops by the centre circle. An important foot in from Estupiñán. Enciso brings it away. And he spots Minter down the right wing, looking to take on Vega. Hits it against Vega and actually came off Minter last of all. Chelsea have a throw, and they have a 4-2 lead as we move into the last 15 minutes of normal time. Ball's back with Sanchez. Finds Fofana at right-hand corner of his own penalty area, into the feet of Palmer. Quick turn and a neat little ball through to Brighton players for Gusto, who now sets Pedro Neto away, scampering down the right-hand side. Igor not closing down the space yet. Neto across for Jackson, who couldn't wrap his foot round it and turn it goalwards. It's a goal kick to Brighton and Hove Albion, and it remains 4-2 on TalkSport 2.
There's no doubt about it. Jackson hasn't had his shooting boots on today. You know, he's had 3 chances. That was a decent chance as well. He should do better with that. You know, even if he don't score, he's got to hit that target and make the keeper make a save.
More live football to come. Monday night, it's El Clasicost. Bournemouth against Southampton. They don't call it that. Adrian Durham will be your host. Sam Matterface and Danny Murphy, your commentary team at the Vitality. And then the Champions League returns Tuesday and Wednesday. Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain on TalkSport, and Slovan Bratislava, Manchester City on TalkSport 2. That's Tuesday. And then Wednesday, what a game. Aston Villa against Bayern Munich. Memories of Peter With and all that in Rotterdam in the early 80s. That's on TalkSport. Liverpool Bologna is on TalkSport 2. Again, 8 o'clock kickoffs. And then we've got a triple bill of Europa League and Conference League football on Thursday with Spurs, Chelsea and Manchester United all in action. Just go to the TalkSport app and you get all the details of our live games on the tab there. Here come Brighton at 4-2 down. Enciso up to the edge of the area. Vital interception from Pedro Neto. But Enciso gets it back again. He's brought down by Fofana, and Brighton have a free kick. 25 yards out to the left of centre. They're about to bring on Evan Ferguson, the big Irish striker, to add a bit of extra heft to their attacking.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't been on earlier. I've got a lot of respect for Ferguson. I think he's somebody that will bring a finish, a goal. And certainly you can play balls off him. He's big enough and strong enough to hold the ball up. And Ciso's done well, hasn't he? Since he came on, he's been in the thick of the action. Not really been able to get a shot away or kill a pass, but he's certainly industrious and got good control there.
And Nkunku is coming on for Jackson. You mentioned that Nicholas Jackson didn't quite have his shooting boots on today. Well, he is now being taken off, and Nkunku scored a hat-trick here against Barrow in the week. Is coming on to replace him. The other change sees a return for Romeo Lavia, who played in the Premier League here against Manchester City on the opening weekend, then picked up an injury earlier against Servette in the Conference League qualifications, and he's coming on for Enzo Fernandez, who's given the captain's armband to Moises Caicedo in the meantime. So a double change for Chelsea. Nkunku and Lavia on. And Fernandez now just making his way very slowly off the field, as well as Jackson's already long since exited stage left. Meanwhile, Brighton have got a free kick to take. Carlisle 2, Grimsby 2, meantime in League 2. Lewis Cass gets an equaliser. Leeds 3, Coventry 0. Joel Peru with a third. Notts County equalise at Morecambe. Going to deny Morecambe a win. They still haven't won in League 2, the Shrimps. 1-1 at the Globe Arena. And here at Stamford Bridge, it's 4-2 to Chelsea. Lavia now getting a warm round of applause as he comes on.
Welbeck has got this in exactly the same position as he scored last week, isn't it? It's the same distance as Palmer scored from in the first half.
You're dead right, Alvin. He scored that sumptuous free kick against Nottingham Forest, Welbeck. He's there, and Ciso is there too. The wall for Chelsea just inside the 18-yard box. Lewis Dunk looking to jump up and down and mask the view of the keeper. In it comes from Welbeck. This time it hits the wall and drifts out to the right-hand side. Minter tucks it back to Igor, just in front of the halfway line. Just drifts away from Mudryk, sends it back out to the right-hand side of Minter. Early ball into the edge of the area. Chested down by Enciso, looking for a teammate, Ayari. Palmer gets it half clear. Estupinian, and then Dunk will send it all the way back to Verbruggen. But Brighton are running out of time here if they want to mount an extraordinary comeback, having been 1-0 up. It is now a throw-in, and here comes Evan Ferguson as Mitoma couldn't control that ball that was fired out to him on this near touchline, and we're about to see who he is replacing. It is Danny Welbeck that's coming off to allow Evan Ferguson to come on to replace him. Yet to start this season, Evan Ferguson, 6 goals last season for the young 19-year-old from the Republic of Ireland. Offers something a little bit different for these last few minutes.
I think as well, Welbeck's 33 now. He's had a really good start to the Premier League season. I think he's, he's 3 goals. I think he only got 7 the whole of last season, didn't he? But Ferguson is the long-term, certainly solution to that problem they've had up front.
Tries to get onto a throw that was sent downfield by Estupinian. Ball breaks in midfield, drops on halfway for Estupinian. Goes backwards of square to find his captain Dunk. Dunk keeps it away from Nkunku. Hinshelwood now back in a more defensive role with all these changes that Brighton have made to try and force the issue. Port Vale 2, Swindon 0 in League 2. Brandon Cover with a second for the Valiants, and Kilmarnock 3, Dundee United 2. United get a second through Craig Sibbald. Long ball downfield asking Ferguson to give chase, and Sanchez just waits at the left-hand corner of the penalty area, and the ball's got enough speed on it to trickle its way through to him. 4-2 Chelsea.
Yeah, one of them uncomfortable ones, isn't it? You know, as a keeper, sometimes as a defender, you've got that decision to make. Is it going to go out of play, isn't it? You get it wrong, and it could be very costly.
Chelsea give it away again. Ferguson just ahead of the centre circle. Lays it off, and Chelsea have now got players back behind the ball. Baleba. Played out left to Kauro Mitoma. 1-on-1 with Gusto. Tries to go on the outside of Gusto. Good defending. He's played well this afternoon. Gusto.
I thought that he was going to have problems with Mitoma on this side.
Lots of people do.
Yeah, and gradually he's got to grips with him, hasn't he? It's been a much more robust performance defensively for Chelsea in the second half. No doubt about that.
Alvin Martin, you can hear alongside me. Ian Danta here at Stamford Bridge. We've got 8 minutes of normal time to go. Chelsea still 4-2 up. Igor for Brighton, just over the halfway line. Squares the ball to his right for Dunk, who can slide it out to Minter on the right wing. He's got nobody closing him down. Now Mudryk comes across. Minter, early ball into the box. It's a good ball. It just escapes the attentions of Ferguson, and Sanchez can claim it on his 6-yard line. 4-2.
Yeah, it's one to gamble on that, Dance. I think if he just gambles and goes a fraction of a second earlier, he might get a toe on that.
Sanchez just holding on to the ball for as long as he can before passing outside the area, almost intercepted by Enciso, but Lavia was the lucky recipient in the end for Chelsea. Palmer, who's not just on a hat-trick, he's on 5. He's on 4 goals. Chance for a quintuplet of goals. Can you even call it that? But he's a history maker, this boy. And Chelsea love the fact that he is their boy. Now, Mudryk trying to stretch his legs down the left-hand side, but Hinshelwood slides in and puts it out of play for a throw. Taken quickly by Vega. Colwill on halfway. Knocks it to his right for Fofana. Faced up by Ferguson. Gives it back to Colwill. Slides it down the left wing. Mudryk is offside. And Maresca, the frustration.
Coaches will straight away jump up and down when they see that happen, because it's a lack of concentration by the player.
Here's Lewis Dunk out to Yakuba Minteh, right hand side, good strength, and sets Ferguson away, who's onside. Tries to release Minteh again down the right hand side of the box. Better defending this time from Caicedo. First time clearance from Levi Colwill, gets it out of harm's way. Drops just inside the Brighton half, brought down on the chest of Igor.
He's done well, hasn't he, since he came on?
Yeah, looks, he's a unit, isn't he, Igor Julio?
Yeah.
Be like you. Diagonal ball out to the... I wasn't going to say that. I thought I'd let you say that, Albion. Hinshelwood runs into Vega and wins a throw-in, level with the edge of the area for Brighton. Dunk collects the throw, guides it back to the aforementioned Igor, just in front of the halfway line. Comes in field, lays it off to Estupinian. Matoma holding for it on this near side, but he won't receive it. Instead, it's gone back out to the right-hand side. Hinshelwood plays the ball in field for Minteh. Minteh with an early ball looking for Ferguson, but him and Fofana were in a bit of a clutch and couldn't get free of one another. Swindon have got a goal back at Port Vale, 2-1 Port Vale lead. Now Will Wright for the Robins. Northampton 0, Mansfield 2. Aaron Lewis. That is Northampton 0, Mansfield 2. If you remember that classic Graham Beecroft clip, that is definitely the score.
Good old Beaky.
Bless him. Beaky is a red. Here's Estupinian down the left-hand side of the box for Brighton. Oh, he feints to cross with his left. Still got it, and then Gusto again. Great defending to win the ball back when he looks second favourite. Outplay for a throw to Chelsea, 4-2.
Yeah, he's happy with his performance, and certainly he's got stronger as the game's gone on. Gusto, he's pumping his arms up and down to the supporters in that corner. They need a little bit of excitement instilled in the stadium, don't they? They used it all in the first half. Yeah. It's been really quiet in the second half. I'm sure the coaches are a lot happier to see it this way.
Maybe so. Into the last 5 minutes of normal time we go then. Ball given away by Neto. Brighton have it tight to this near touchline. Mitoma, he's dispossessed again by Gusto. Lavia bringing it forward, looking to release, and Kunku over halfway, just checked his run, thought he'd be offside, I think, and Kunku should just stay where he was. And the ball's back with the Brighton centre-halves. Igor finds Baleba just shy of the halfway line. Gives it to his right for Lewis Dunk. Little run across the line from Enciso. Now Ferguson's made a dart down the inside left channel, but the ball from Igor's overhit and will just roll through for Robert Sanchez.
I think the quality from both teams in the second half going forward creatively has not been as good as the first half. And look, it wasn't just poor defending, I don't think, in the first half. Some of the attack and play was exquisite in terms of it would have opened up any defence. But the second half of the final ball, as we've just seen there, just slightly overhit, and it gives the defenders the advantage then.
Ball's out of play. It's going to take Albion the rest of this game to work out, when he's asked by Faker or others who the man of the match is. I'm not sure he's going to go for, to be honest with you. Ball's back with Levi Colwill. Mate, if you say anybody else, you know you're in big trouble, don't you?
Well, he did miss that one on his right foot, didn't
he? Maybe I bigged up Malo Gusto too much in the second half. I've got inside your head. Ball's back with Verbruggen. What have Brighton got left in these last few minutes? 3 minutes of normal time to go, plus whatever Peter Banks wants to add on for stoppages. Carlisle 2, Grimsby 3. Harvey Rogers looks like he's won it for Grimsby late on at Brunton Park. Mitoma for Brighton, chests the ball down, works it infield to Enciso, goes down under pressure from Gusto. Free kick. Referee just bided his time, waited to see if Brighton had an advantage, and then gives Brighton the free kick 35 yards out, 4-2.
I mean, there are a few Chelsea fans starting to make their way to the exits now. They don't think there's going to be any more goals. They wouldn't have done that in the first half, would they?
I barely saw anybody go off.
Not even
5 minutes and a half time. It was
just a cup of coffee.
Yeah, the concourses.
We actually think we know what's going to happen in this game from here, don't we?
Yeah.
It's going to end up 4-2, isn't it?
I don't know. This game can surprise you so often. You should have learned that by now, Albion.
Yeah.
Free kick for Brighton. It's Estupinian and Ciso standing over it. The two-man Chelsea wall is just to the right of the D.
This is a long way out.
And Ciso fancies this, and he goes for goal, and it's claimed on the goal line quite comfortably by Robert Sanchez, but it was on target from the Brighton sub.
I think because it was too far out, it gives the keeper a chance to move his feet and go along the line and catch the ball, make it comfortable. You know, I think a yard, maybe 2 yards further forward, the pace on the ball means that the keeper's going to be diving for that corner rather than catching it.
Don't forget Talksport Breakfast back on Monday morning. Ali McCoist is your main presenter for Monday and Tuesday, with Jeff Stelling taking a little break. And then White and Jordan look after your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday mid-morning from 10 till 1. Here on Talksport. Don't forget the game day phone in, coming straight up on Talksport at 5:30, where you Chelsea fans can just wax lyrical to Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara about how good Cole Palmer's been today. Vega hooks the ball out of play for a Brighton throw down the right-hand side of the Chelsea penalty area into the last minute of normal time. Back it goes to Lewis Dunk, and a square ball back to Igor. Into the feet of Enciso, just tries to drift away from Palmer. Plays the ball back into square to Estepinian. Telegraphed that pass, and it was comfortably picked off by Gusto, but Estepinian does well to win the ball back. Hits it against Pedro Neto, and Igor's got to go all the way back to the dead ball line to get it back. Arsenal 3, Leicester 2. Leandro Trossard on 90+4. Looks to have won it for Arsenal. Deja vu. That's what we had against Bournemouth those couple of years ago, Albion.
Yeah, but again, it's grown as a team, isn't it, Arsenal? And you expect them to win games in the last minute. That's what title contenders or title winners do.
5 minutes of added time has just begun here at Stamford Bridge. Brighton have the ball at the edge of the area. Yakuba Minte just runs out of room, and Ciso goes for goal, but wraps his foot around it and just shanks off the outside of his left foot and goes well wide. Bristol Rovers 1, Wickham 2. Wickham looked to have won it late on at the Mem through Joe Lowe in League One. There's going to be a goal kick that Levi Colwill is going to take. A few full times coming in. Everton have beaten Palace by 2-1. That's a very, very important result for Sean Dyche and the Toffees. No other Premier League full times. Watford have beaten Sunderland 2-1 in the Championship. Gillingham have beaten Barrow in that battle of the top two in League Two. And Sanchez goal kicks very flat. Ferguson heads it up in the air around the halfway line, helped back into the Brighton half by Fofana. Ferguson takes the ball on his chest and tries to release Minte down the right-hand side of the area. Vega's gone with him. Minte goes to ground under minimal pressure from Vega, who does well, the left back, and slides it into Caicedo. Now Lavia gets dispossessed by Baleba. Here come Brighton up to the edge of the area. Oh, what a challenge from Vega.
It's been impressive, really impressive, Vega.
Young Portuguese, he played against Barrow on Tuesday night. Brentford 1, West Ham 1 as a full-time score at the GTEC. Souček's equaliser after another first-minute goal for Brentford. Third time that's happened in this many Premier League games for the Bees. Enciso in stoppage time for Brighton, trying to find 2 goals if they possibly can. Estepinian down the left-hand side of the box. Ends up going back towards Carlos Baleba. Infield it goes to Igor, just next to the centre circle. Has to give it back to Carlos Baleba. Plenty forward in Brighton yellow, waiting for a diagonal ball to be sent their way. Baleba has it again in the centre of the half. Lays it off to Dunk. Dunk now out to Hinshelwood on the right-hand side. Infield again to Lewis Dunk. Now Minte will pick it up right wing, faced up by Vega. Right down the right-hand side of the box, and it's Ayari who's won a corner, has he? That's been given as a goal kick. Came out for Ayari last of all. It's all working out for Chelsea in this second half. They're 4-2 up, and we shouldn't forget those 2 goal line clearances from Adam Webster. Could be 6-2.
Yeah, that's right. And a couple of misses. I think Jackson missed a couple. Look, we could have seen 10 goals easily in this game, no doubt about that. But I think at half-time we were discussing what the managers were going to say. It was a great, entertaining, exciting game of football. Defending come second best in the first half. Maybe he did get into his team, but that's good. I said, look, I want to see goals, but I want to see us, forming a solid base to play from, and they've done that in the second half.
Head on by Mudryk, finds Nkunku. Now Pedro Neto inside the area, gets a shot away, and it's deflected behind for a late corner for Chelsea to see if they can get a 5th before the referee blows the final whistle. We're in the 4th minute of a minimum 5 that's been added on, and here comes yet another standing ovation down at that Matthew Harding corner as Cole Palmer casually strolls across to spot the ball down.
It's great when a talented player finds a home and immediately looks like it, a piece of it, doesn't he? And that's exactly what he is now. I'm sure he's going to go on to be a big part of the history here.
Rolls the ball into the area for Romeo Lavia. Palmer tried to take over, but Lavia's taken it outside the box. It's worked back to the halfway line. Fulham have won at Nottingham Forest by 1-0. Great performance, great result for Marco Silva at the City ground. Time running out here into the last minute of minimum stoppage time. Lavia guides it back to Vega, and Lavia again in a bit of space calmly tucks it out to Caicedo, wearing the captain's armband since Enzo was substituted. Now it's back with Levi Colwill. Square ball for Fofana. All the way back for Robert Sanchez. And under pressure from Ferguson, he calmly passes out to Vega. Now a long ball downfield looking for Mudryk, but that's very neatly chested down by Dunk. Estupiñán on halfway. Options right and left for Brighton. Left is Mitoma, that's who he looks for. Immediately closed down by Malo Gusto. And he has to go back into his own half. Yet another example of how well Chelsea's right back has played one of Brighton's most dangerous players. Free kick. In fact, the full-time whistle has gone at Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea march on with a fourth successive victory. Not without conceding today, but that's not the story. The story is the young man who's just sat down by the halfway line. I don't doubt that he's exhausted. What a performance Cole Palmer has put in today for his club, scoring all 4 goals in the first half. Brighton had taken the lead through Jorginho Ruta's 8th-minute header, but then the Cole Palmer show began. Actually had goals denied for offside as well. Scored a penalty, scored a sumptuous free kick, and his 4th goal, not long after Baleba had made it 3-2, was drilled in at the near post with real quality. And that's how the score stayed at half-time. Chelsea looking upwardly mobile in the Premier League. That's no winning 4 for Brighton. That's their first defeat of the season as well in the Premier League. But Cole Palmer, unsurprisingly, has grabbed the match ball, and he's going to grab all the headlines in your morning papers tomorrow as well. Because thanks to him, Chelsea are marching on in the Premier League. Full-time score in a brilliant game at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 4, Brighton and Hove Albion 2.
What a game that was, and Kai Havertz has just made it 4-2 to Arsenal. They're taking home all 3 points against Leicester in a game that looked to be heading for a draw, apart from 2 late goals. Leandro Trossard with the first, and then Kai Havertz putting the cherry on top of a very iced cake. I think they're into the 12th minute of added time at the Emirates at the moment. Quick roundup of the other Premier League results from the day. Earlier on Talksport, Manchester City were held to a 1-1 draw by Newcastle. Josko Gvardiol opening the scoring, but Anthony Gordon won a penalty and then scored it. Quite controversial circumstances surrounding that as well. It looks like Arsenal are heading for a 4-2 win over Leicester, which will see Mikel Arteta's side draw level on points with City. This result here at Stamford Bridge for Chelsea means that they are just a point behind in 3rd place. Brentford 1, West Ham 1. Brian Mbeumo scoring inside the first minute for the 2nd game in a row for Brentford, but Thomas Souček equalised to ease the pressure on Julian Lopetegui. And a huge morale-boosting win for Everton as well. They came from behind to beat Crystal Palace by 2-1 thanks to 2 goals from Dwight McNeil. And at the City ground, the first defeat of the season for Nottingham Forest, a penalty from Raul Jimenez, stealing all 3 points for Fulham away from home. Here at Stamford Bridge, though, it was the Cole Palmer show, really, in the first half, and he could have maybe had a 5th and a 6th in the second half, maybe even scored a few more in the first as well. He was absolutely superb as the players make their way round, and a lap of honour here at Stamford Bridge for the fans that have stayed to applaud their team after what was, Alvin Martin, a scintillating performance.
Yeah, it was all done in the first half, wasn't it? The second half, they just sort of, played in third gear, really. They could have had a few more goals, Jackson will be probably the most disappointed player in the Chelsea shirt today, because it was a great opportunity with the amount of chances that there were for him to get himself a couple of goals as well, which he didn't do. But look, I think it was an important game for Chelsea to win. Their home form is going to be important to them. They've had a draw and a defeat. So today, it sets a platform up to go and win, play a European game and then a Forest game here. So if they win that as well, it just keeps him in the hunt. They're obviously flowing in terms of creativity. A few amendments got to be made when they lose the ball, because they've got to make themselves harder and more substantial. But look, they'd be delighted to get the result. It was all about the result today, I think.
Yeah, you mentioned the Europa Conference League match. They played Ghent live on Talksport 2 on Thursday night. I tell you what I found really fascinating actually was the body language of both Nicholas Jackson and Noni Madueke, both really disappointed, as you say, not to get on the score sheet. The competition for places is really, really high, and you could tell Jackson was frustrated knowing that he was going to be replaced by Nicholas Nkunku, Christopher Nkunku, Nicholas Jackson, Christopher Nkunku, who'd scored a hat-trick midweek against Barrow. Couldn't get on the score sheet himself today, but they're looking so confident, these youngsters.
Yeah, and again, I think they're going to get better. There was I haven't witnessed a game like this for such a long time, that it was like all-out attack in a game from the moment it started all the way through that first half. And some of the attacking play was absolutely brilliant. So I think sometimes we can say, okay, defences could have been better. But you know what, Faye? Sometimes when people are so good on the ball, and the movement and the technical ability of the team that they're trying to score against you is so high, there's not a lot you can do. But I think because they all were so attack orientated, and they were throwing so many people forward, whenever the ball broke down, it was inviting the other team to come at them on a counter, and it was like counter, goal, and it was, Palmer was the difference, because as many chances as you can create, you do need people who are going to pull the trigger. And he certainly did that today, didn't he?
Oh, he absolutely did. We'll get to him in 1 second. Just a bit of housekeeping for you. It did finish Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. I wonder whether some of the Arsenal players knew what the result was here at Chelsea, because Trossard and Kai Havertz popped those last 2 goals in very late on in that match, matching the score line here. But it is time for us to pick our man of the match. There's not really much point. I think we know who it all is. But let's give him another award, shall we? He's got quite a few now. This is with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. So if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Song 2 blasting over the tannoy here at Stamford Bridge. 2 times 2. That's how many goals that Cole Palmer managed to get. Made history, didn't he? Becoming the first ever Premier League player to score 4 goals in the first half of a Premier League match. Is he, Alvin, your man of the match, or are we never going to speak again?
Well, I want to get to the station to get home in one piece. So if I don't name him man of the match, I don't think I'm going to achieve that. Okay? So yeah, now head and shoulders above anyone else on the pitch. Absolutely wonderful talent. Seems to be getting better.
He does. What more can we say about this boy? He's absolutely superb. Cole Palmer, our man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.